welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka Mini Wargamer Kris, aka The Name Butcher, aka Hey You, I'm out of AKs. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the Wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and everything under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So if you're a first-time viewer, we do a lot of painting talk as well as a lot of what's under the sun, meaning we can pretty much go anywhere in this show. It's wide open, so sometimes it gets kind of weird. Sometimes it gets a little silly. Who knows? That's, I think, half the fun of tuning in every once in a while for this silly program. So, if you are attending live, you can ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be. Is it that way? No, it might be that way. I don't know. One of those, or maybe it's down here. I don't know. If you're watching on a phone. Either way. You can ask your questions over in the chat, or of course you can always ask your questions in the chat, and you can see it appears just down here, and it's all just popping up. And you can also send me an email, kris@miniwargaming.com. It is in the description below, and of course you can send your questions there, post, maybe there's something troubling you, maybe you just want some more info on something, maybe you want something clarified. Who knows? Whatever it is, feel free to ask it. And of course, you can also post pictures in the email. Send them as attachments in the email. Don't send it off as links to other sites. Don't do that because it's just annoying. And oftentimes, those other sites have ads running and stuff like that. So it's very annoying. So just send it as attachments in the email. And of course, yeah, that was it, right? Oh, and of course, in the description below as well is a link to wayofthebrush.com. That is the central hub of all the silliness, has links to all the social medias, as well as Discord, which has been a lot of fun. We have Discord up all the time, and we're constantly talking and chatting in there all day long. It's, monkeys all over the world, so conversations are running 24/7 around there, and sometimes I don't even know what they're talking about, so that's all right. And of course, wayofthebrush.com also has links for t-shirts. Want to look like a connoisseur of all that's good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And for everybody who has purchased a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, I think once there's a huge number of monkeys in the shrine, I think I'll keep updating the intro so that it's just more fun, right? It'd be fun to have it as the whole, all just monkeys, just the whole way beginning through. Maybe just a few other shots of fun stuff. I don't know, but yeah, it'd be more fun that way, I think. Because really, this show is all about you guys. It's helping you guys, answering your questions, helping you, and of course, we'll have a few laughs along the way. So wayofthebrush.com also has links for Patreon support. If you're considering supporting by Patreon, a big thank you to all my current patrons who support. Without their help, a lot of these things wouldn't happen. Equipment upgrades, site maintenance, all these things, just, and of course, this is all about you guys, helping you guys. And so, it's all a feedback. It's all feedback. And, trying to put them positive vibes out there, trying to make this hobby that much better every time we get the chance to sit down and work on our models and do some painting and, what have you. Or we're just sitting in, reading, who knows? Who knows what we're doing? Hobby time, right? Hobby time's downtime, time to relax, chill out, reset the meter kind of thing, and, get ready for the rest of our week kind of stuff. Busy with life, school, jobs, what have you, right? And of course, so big thank you to all my patrons. And if you're considering supporting by Patreon, huge thank you. If you're not able to support monetarily, liking, thumbing up, subscribing, following, all that stuff helps. Sharing's another big one. And of course, if you do subscribe, click the bell so you get notified when things come up, and all the usual YouTube, Twitch nonsense. And of course, a big thank you to Guy Mayer Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. That's where it's at. That's where I tune in, because nobody else is doing a lot of Blood Bowl, and he's doing a lot. So, and they love themselves some Blood Bowl. I mean, who doesn't, right? So, anyway, yeah, check him out. We always say thank you to Carl because he took the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that plays before the email segments. So, always a big thank you for creating those things that put a little smile on our faces and possibly blow out our eardrums. So who is joining us today? I can see Ebb and Flow. Sup, everybody? Nit Fink. Hello, everyone. Hello, Brian Cheney. Hello from Seattle. Hello, Brian. Anthony B. The Almighty Monkey Lord has graced us with his divine and noble presence. I don't know. That's a little much there, buddy, but I'll take it. At least we're not talking about shotgunning beers. I'll take that. Danish artist, hey, Kris. Which one of the blue contrast paints would be best for blue jeans? I think you're making a joke there because somebody made the comment. I found the recipe for blue jeans. Honestly, for blue jeans though, I mean, yeah, the Talisar blue. Yeah, you can use that. Of course, that Ultramarines blue. I think that's where the joke was initially. But I mean, if you were doing blue jeans, sure. Yeah, Ultramarines blue. That looks good. I really wouldn't use Ethermatic blue. That's a really, really light blue. Unless, of course, you're doing like, jean shorts or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if you're joking or not, but I'm going to assume you're jesting. Vasily Shimko, hi, Kris Monkeys, and others. Hello, Vasily. You made a new intro? Yeah, I made a new intro a while ago, Vasily. It's been a while since you tuned in, I guess, eh? Anthony B, still waiting for that pre-order to come up. Oh, it hasn't. The pre-orders haven't come out yet? For the new contrast paints? Really? I figured everybody's hitting refresh. It's kind of like eBay sniping right now. I can imagine the whole hobby world, or everybody's at their computers hitting refresh, waiting for the site to come so they can put their pre-orders in. I heard I was on DACA this morning, and it sounded like some people already got like their pre-order in. I don't know. Apparently, it's kind of a pain in the ass navigating the site. I haven't looked at it. I can't say for sure. I mean, they could just be whining, but yeah, I was on DACA this morning, and yeah, some people were complaining about it. Brian Cheney, contrast pre-order is today. Yeah, it's today. Today's the day. We're finally here. Everybody's going to order. I'm still calling it. They're probably going to sell out. So if you're on the fence about getting them, I would suggest you get a couple. Like I said, get the browns. Get the brown colors. The browns are great. Like if you want to get one contrast color, snakebite leather. Get snakebite leather. It's a lot of fun. Harry Durkin. Hey, Kris. Hey. Cocking 555, it's monkey time. Old Man Logan over on Twitch. Hi, Kris. Howdy, monkey brothers and sisters. Cocking 3-minute delay cast on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's always a little slow. I don't know why. Twitch has got it going on. Twitch has got it going on. They seem really fast. But the comments all load in at the same time, or at a time. So, yeah. Shogun Ka, William Ka, monkey time. Alexander Zukas just got off work live from Vegas. Cool. You're over in Vegas. Like Las Vegas? Not New Vegas? Harry Durkin looking to get contrast line Blood Angels to paint. Cool. Yeah, get the Blood Angels color. And the black. That's pretty much it, right? Black and the red. That's all you need. Ben Ellis. Hello all. Hello. Anthony B. Hey, I'm in Vegas too. Hey. Dr. Zantos, hello y'all. Hello. Brian Cheney, especially if there's aerosols involved. Hey, Kris. What? Well, you mean like last time when I was spraying in the office and I was getting hot? Yeah, you may notice I'm in my lair today. I'm back home because it's the weekend. The wife has basically has a long weekend this weekend, so she's outside gardening and everything like that. And so we're gonna do some chores this weekend. We're gonna clean up the house a bit and do some stuff. So yeah. So we got there's things to do on the honeydew. Sir Peanut Butter, howdy Kris and Monkeys, howdy. King 555 found more things to paint. Awesome. Anthony Godlutsky. Music from Evan Bello. Brother? Yes. My younger brother. My baby brother. My he's bigger than me and he's way more fit than me, and but I won't say he's more handsome than I. But yeah, he's a very talented man, musically gifted. I was granted the gift of creating visual art. He was granted the gift of creating audio art, and so yeah. And my other brother, he is gifted with writing. He's an excellent wordsmith. I don't know. My sisters were gifted with extraordinary love. So. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if my sisters ever really kind of displayed any artistic pursuits. I know my one sister, she loved dance. She used to dance all the time. I don't know if she still does. My other sister, she's into reading and, very into. We're very intellectual in our pursuits. But anyway, cucking. The slight maintenance was the server was out of sync with the world. I know this is that. I was one that reported it. Okay. Norman Price. Hey, Kris. Was struggling to decide on Legio for Adeptus Titanicus. Your recent Imperial Fist Contrast Mini has helped me decide on Legio Furians. Thanks, dude. Well, thank you, Norman. Thank you. I'm glad everybody... I was thinking about doing a show where basically I read through viewer comments and stuff and just kind of, wade through the toxicity. Because it's very very polarizing as far as opinions are concerned with this new contrast paint, and it's amazing how if you're on this side you're a complete shill, and if you're on this side you're an idiot, and you know what I mean. It's just holy cramoles, it's like, man, let's get a grip. This is just paint. It's just paint. My God, man. Catfish, I forgot to add. Shotgun beers. Harry Durkin, with the new contrast line, I want to paint my Blood Angels, so I need help or suggestions, please. Get the Blood Angels red, get the Black Templar black. Those are the only two colors you really need, right? Because Blood Angels are predominantly red. Had a brain fart there. If you're going to do like the helmets yellow, sure, get Iyanden yellow. And if they're going to do blue, do they still do the yellow and blue helmets for the different squads? Because if they do, then yeah, get yourself Talisar blue, and you'll be good to go. You'll be cranking out Marines left and right. So give it a try. I definitely would recommend, if you're not sure about this whole new contrast line, I'd highly, highly, highly recommend go check out the demos, try them out for yourself, and see if this is the right fit for you, right? Check them out for yourself. I personally think they're fabulous. Fabulous. And I see a lot of value for beginners, intermediates, advanced. This paint line, I should say, is really quite something. Are these revolutionary? Are these brand new things? No, a combination of them has been around for a long while. And, but for inexperienced painters, yeah, for brand new people getting into the hobby, yeah, these are definitely going to help you out. Definitely. Kyle Byrne, hello from Japan. Love your vids on contrast. 40k is so expensive here, though. Yeah, from what I understand, over on the eastern side of Asia, of the Pacific, 40k can be quite expensive. I know, like in Australia, they get reamed. Like full-on reaming. Like, I'm trying to find an example of a reamer, but... yeah, they get reamed. Because, you look at their prices. Just click, the country icon when you go to Games Workshop site. And, yeah, you go to Australia. Holy cramoles. Their dollar value is similar to Canadian. And they're paying, a good 20% more. Maybe? I don't know. I haven't done the math. But any Aussies out there can tell me that, yeah, we're getting reamed, buddy. Or whatever their expression for getting reamed is. I love it when people throw their cultural euphemisms at me, because I'm like, I don't know what that means, and then they tell me, and say, oh, okay, I get it. It's funny. Of course, then I'm picturing it too with the accent as well, because then it's even more hilarious. I realize that everybody in Australia, they don't speak with an accent; they all just speak, Australian to each other, right? So, but to a Canadian ear, it sounds hilarious. Vasily, yeah, I haven't touched brush or miniature since February. Oof. Well, time to get back into the flow, man. Danish artist Kris, it's no joke. I have some survivors that I was going to give blue jeans. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I would probably go with Ultramarines blue or Talisar blue. Talisar blue might be a little bit strong, but you can always put a second layer down. Whereas the Ultramarine blue, you probably could achieve it within one coat. if you're using the contrasts. Vasily Shimko, Snakebite Leather. Are they reusing the old Citadel line names? Just that one, I think. That's the only one. Bit of a throwback. Some of the other ones have new names. But, yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah, they're all pretty new names. Just Snakebite Leather was the only one that was hey, Snakebite Leather. All us old school people will be like, Snakebite Leather. Because Snakebite Leather used to get used a lot. Because it was good for leather. It was a really great leather tone. Leather tone? Leather tone. Ryan McGowan, hey man, thanks for the contrast videos. Going to pre-order them when they open up. Cool. Yeah, do it. Do it. Do it. Ian Mayhew, hey fella, coming to you from CWG UK. LOL, how are you doing? I am doing okay. I'm good. I'm feeling good. It's a nice, beautiful day. Sun is shining, air is cool, and I'm inside talking to you guys. I'm actually currently assembling my deep kit. I got all the little bits and bobs, like the little seashells and the little fishies and stuff. And then of course I'm gonna put together the duder, the unit leader, and then I got the eels to do. And that's from the Get Started box, which is those Get Started boxes. Like if you're getting into this hobby, those Get Started boxes are great value. You basically get one of those units. For like you're saving the cost of one of those units in that box. Like they're good value. If you're looking to expand your army or something like that, look for a Get Started box and just pick up one or two of those, and yeah, that'll fill your army out really easily. Because they're pretty darn good. Like I'm surprised because usually like in the past, like GW used to do deals. And then when they were at that point where everything they wanted to have was exclusives, and there was all this exclusivity to the hobby, and it was it bred a lot of snobbiness, I think, and which was generally not good for the hobby as a whole, and I think that diminished the population. And then once they turned around and they started, opening back up to the community and, everything like that. And yeah, they've been on the surge upward again, right? And because they're becoming very inclusive, the paint jobs they display are not unachievable. They're not, super golden demon standards. I mean, we all know that, that you can paint a model to a really super high standard, or you can just get it done so it looks good on the table, so you can play some games and enjoy the visuals of the game and what the whole thing is, right? The whole enchilada, you can enjoy the whole enchilada. And so, I think it's great. I think the direction at which they've been doing things has been fantastic, and those Get Started boxes, I think, is a bit like the early days of Citadel, where, they were just about, the wargaming and, and just doing, creating value, right? And I think they should continue on that path, creating value, and, because, yeah, they keep driving the prices up. That's to be expected, It's no news now. People used to freak out way back in the day. Oh my God, they're raising the price of Space Marines. I mean, I found this. It's an old United States and Canada Complete 2000 mail order price. Like, I was flipping through this and I was like, geez, is this what I used to pay? Good God, man. Like, let me go to a Space Marine here. Let's go to Space Marines. Or Imperial Guard. Okay, so the Imperial Guard Codex, which was 2000, so that was, what, 3rd edition? Yeah, that was 3rd edition. You paid $14.99 US, 20 Canadian. That's quite a jump. $5 more? That's 25% difference? Oof. What else? Where's Lehman Russ? The Catachan Jungle Fighters. 20 models, $22. Basically $1 a model. A Chimera, $27.50 US. Of course, it was metal boosters then. Like a Lehman Russ battle tank. $29.99 US. That's what you used to pay. Everybody out there. Eldar. What did we pay for plastics back then? There was only a couple plastics. Like a Falcon Grav tank for Eldar was $29.99 US. My God, man. The box, the big box, the 3rd edition big box that had the Black Templars and the Dark Eldar. Oh, Space Marines and Eldar, but anyway. That was $75 US. Way back in the day. Anyway. Enough reminiscing. So, yeah, interesting times. That was only 19 years ago. Damn near 20 years ago. On board G1. Hi, Kris. Pre-ordered my contrast. Get a chance to try it over other primers. I've tried it on top of Steino Res. It works fine. I've tried it on top of Corax White. Works fine. Yeah, just primer. I mean, like, I tweeted it out like last week at some point. I tweeted it in joking, but I was spraying Wraithbone in my airbrush booth, and it takes most of the fumes away and everything like that, but a little bit came back, and some of that dusty. Anybody who's played with the Citadel sprays know they get like there is a little cloud, especially with the Corax White. It gets kind of cloudy, and and if you've ever gotten a mouthful of it, you know what it tastes like, right? Corax White, you know what it tastes like, or Skull White, whatever it used to be. It's pretty much the same recipe these days, but Wraithbone tastes the same as Corax White. So anybody who's wondering, yeah. So I would assume that it's a similar recipe, but with a slight difference. Now the Grey Seer actually was a little different, so it might be a little bit different recipe for that to make that. I don't know. I'm not there for when they make this stuff, so yeah. Anthony Godlewski was alt-tabbed away and heard the music intro. Very cool. Cool. Ian Mayhew, UK is going to be missing 7 of the contrast range as there is issues with production of some. Oh, really? Interesting. I've not heard that. Catfish, episode 254, wading through the toxicity. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to go that route. Like if I don't know. I don't know if I want to go swimming in the toxicity. Ebb and flow at Kris. Shouldn't artists use whatever paint suits their needs? I don't understand the vitriol over the new paint line in the arsenal. No, neither do I. I don't know why people are like, oh, this paint line sucks. Like because I noticed a lot of it, and a lot of people were coming right out of the woodwork to just bash the paint. When I showed the contrast on a Rhino, and I was using the brush, and you know how I laid in, and like how I tell people how to create a smooth base coat. That's how I employed that technique, because I figured, okay, well, that's the best way. Yet, you know, the brush strokes become very apparent because of the way the contrast system works, because, you know, the bristles and everything like that. And so, anyway, I'd shown another video of, you know, showing an alternate way. That video, you know, it's mostly being well received, but the other video was like, oh, knew it, it's garbage, it's garbage, it's garbage, it's garbage. It's like, holy crap, mollies, people. It's just a paint, man. I mean, you know, it's not the end all be all of paint. Like, come on, let's be realistic here. Nathaniel, hi Kris and monkeys, hi. Dr. Zantos, by the way, our club will probably get to test the new paints for free. Our local gaming store asked if we'd be interested in them. Yeah, definitely. If you get a chance to try them, even if you're not sure if you're gonna buy them, they're paint. It's just paint. It's a new paint. It's really, you know, what the benefit is that what they offer for newer people to the hobby. But if you're a more experienced painter, they're just transparent paints. So if you have been using transparent paints before for other effects, this is just more colors to offer. That's it. You know, if you need like a, you know, a nice putridy kind of green that goes on in transparency, you know, this is a color that you like. There's different shades, and you know what I mean, like there is value there. Are you going to use them all the time? More advanced people and intermediates, probably not. You whip them out whenever you need to. But newer people who are, you know, just like, oh man, like they were just so intimidated about painting, I think this is definitely something that's going to help those people. I honestly believe that. Not just blowing smoke up people's asses. Brian Cheney grabs a baseball hat. Here, Kris. Jess, oh, Games Workshop loves to rip us off. Yeah, you know. Cocking, VAT is added illegally to the Aussie price on GW. Really? Is that is that proven? Like, is that just, suspect? Because I mean, like, there could be all sorts of reasons why. I have no idea. Because I mean, like, like I was just pointing out, the American price versus the Canadian price, and the currency between Canadian and American fluctuates often. And so I think they just arbitrarily set those kind of bars like that. And so, like, there was a time where, like, Canadians, like, when the dollars were very, very close, like, we were only a difference of, like, 10%. And, yeah, Canadians were shopping U.S. because it was cheaper. Believe it or not. Sam W. Finally get to tune in. Welcome, Sam. Joe K. Hello from Greece. Hello, Joe K. Joe K. TF. Hello from Germany. Hello from Germany. Hello to Germany. I've had a few viewers. I used to have a young fella who used to tune in all the time. Pony Pledge. Used to tune in from Germany. I'm pretty sure it was Germany. Maybe it was Austria. No, I think it was Germany. But either way. Haven't heard from that young fella in a long time. I wonder how he is. Joe K, any chance to get a demonstration of painting flesh with contrast paints? Not today. Not today. Because I didn't bring the paints. I left all my paints in the office. Yeah. I'm taking a break. Taking a break from the demonstrations. I was demonstrating something yesterday on painting auxilium. I was demonstrating the contrast. I was demonstrating the contrast thinning medium. Because somebody had asked the really interesting question of, is there anything that was surprising in the paint line and from these new paints? And I was like, I was, interested. I was really kind of like surprised by, the overall range. But then as I was kind of playing with that medium with regular Citadel colors, I was a little bit surprised. And I have to test it more to see if my initial thoughts are right. But I suspect that contrast thinning medium has that same additive in it that adds that surface tension, that changes the surface tension, and it'll make a Citadel color flow like contrast. So if anybody who's been like listening to my tutorials or watching my tutorials, or even like my recent video I did not too long ago about changing any color you want into a shade wash, this contrast medium might be that in one bottle. Because anybody who knows my process, I usually take medium, add a drop of flow aid, mix it, apply it to a model. But if you're ever going to do it in like larger batches, or you want to do kind of an assembly line type thing, like doing that kind of process, it takes a bit, and it creates a fair amount of waste. Whereas if you have the medium, you can always just be fairly consistent. You just got one step instead of a couple steps, right? So I still have to test it out more, but I am suspect that contrast medium has that additive, because they couldn't just use a regular medium or the Lamian medium to thin the contrast, because that would kill that surface tension, right? The viscosity would change that viscosity. So they created the medium with that additive so that when you add it to the paint, it doesn't change that viscosity. I think that's what they did. I suspect. Not proven. It's not proven. I'm just suspect. But yeah. So if anybody's, I think that might be the hidden gem within this paint line, is that contrast thinning medium. Everybody who, listens to me knows that I often highly, highly recommend the one thing that should be in everybody's painting toolbox is flow aid. Liquitex flow aid. I use Liquitex flow aid, but there are other flow aids out there. I'm not sure exactly if any of them are exactly the same and do exactly the same, but I know with Liquitex, I know what I'm getting when I buy it, so I always buy Liquitex. And so, yeah, and I often recommend that everybody purchase that. But with Citadel contrast, if it's got that same property, why not just use Citadel contrast? It's a nice little easy bottle. Sure, you pay a premium price on it, sure, but it's a nice little bottle, goes with the collection. Have it right there whenever you need it. Bang, and use it, and you can change it, whatever. If you get the thinning, I would highly recommend get the thinning medium, because if you are going to get contrast paints, definitely should pick up the thinning medium so that you can try colors out in thinner states and apply it in a more gradual state, because then actually you're kind of practicing glazing by that point. And you just may want to try, using a contrast color, but then, because I know that somebody was asking about lava, and I was thinking, well, because like lava effect, I like to use the yellow, break it into a shade wash, apply it because it creeps into the recesses. It saves me that step of starting with a bright color and building all the way up. I start at the mid-tone, build down, and build up. Because too much dry brushing gets really chalky, as everybody who dry brushes a lot knows. So the best way I've found in my experience is to not dry brush too many layers. 1 or 2 layers of dry brushing yields a really good result. You get to 4 or 5 and it starts to get really chalky, right? So if you don't have to do too much dry brushing, all the better for your ultimate finish. So yeah, I think that might be the hidden gem in the contrast paint line, is the thinning contrast medium. Because when applied to a regular Citadel color, it does what I like to do when I'm using with regular colors, is break it down to a shade wash and then apply it. And I've used that technique in many videos. If you watch any mini Wargaming's tutorials, you'll see me do that. I don't know if I've done many tutorials on my channel, but yeah, I just do just a tip because I can film those really quick, and it's just kind of quick questions. And because I'm paid, to make tutorials, so why not just do my job rather than doing it for free, right? Kind of, if you're good at something, why do it for free, right? Where am I? I'm in my house. That's where I am. Aaron Seach. Howdy, Kris. Howdy, monkeys. Mr. Bridges. Well, $20 in 2000 is $30 in 2019 due to inflation. So about $10 difference, yeah? Okay. That's not too bad then. Of course, you'd have probably flipped out in 2000 if I said, yeah, they're gonna add $10 more to that by 2019. You go, for little plastic things? Are you kidding me? Joe K. I think there is a way to reproduce the contrast paint effect by using golden high flow transparent paints and flow improver. Or I think there's. You ended it with a question mark, but that was a question. Definitely. I've shown the last way of the brush. I had shown using Minotaur's Ghost Tints, which are transparent paints, and using Liquitex Flow Aid, and just adding a drop. I think I added 2 drops to 1 drop of Ghost Tint, and it looks almost identical to the finish of Contrast. It dries a little glossier, and I find with Ghost Tints you have to seal after it, because for whatever reason when you apply color on top of Ghost Tints, at least in my experience, it reactivates and mixes with that top layer. There are certain materials that do that, like I find with Vallejo Crackle Medium. You lay a layer of paint down, you put the Crackle Medium down. No, you put another layer of paint down on top of that if you want to have 2 different colors. Like say if you, for example, you went black and then went white, and then you lay the Crackle Medium on top, and that reactivates that first initial layer and then creates the cracks, and then you have the black showing through the white in cracks. You get it. So anyway, yeah. So using high flow transparent paints and flow improver, yeah. But like I said, this is not new. This whole idea of these contrasts, like what it's doing, is not new. I've been using this stuff for years. I've been doing this exact thing for years. It's just, Games Workshop said, you know what? This would be a great way to have brand new people enter the hobby and get their models painted. And that's fantastic. But artists have been doing this for years. So, yeah. Is it, like I said, is it groundbreaking? Is it brand new technology? No, it's just paint. They're employing it in a specific manner. They have a target that they want this to appeal to, and it will actually help. And I think, because, I've never shown it, and I've only ever used the technique as a shade wash. I've never thought of starting off with a white paint and taking color, breaking it down, and applying it to the model and be done. That never entered my head. But I imagine a committee got together and said, you know what, how can we rebrand paint? How can we, make things more accessible for people to get into the hobby? Because they know that the brand new people market is a much bigger market, right? Veterans of the hobby don't spend as much as brand new people do, and brand new people might fall out of the hobby, might come back, whereas veterans have been in the hobby for a long time and are kind of, jaded, really is about the best way to describe it, and they don't spend as much money. So, and they're a business. They got to stay in business, right? So, what are they going to do? What are they to do? Dark Commission episode 253. We don't just sniff paint, we taste it. Anthony Glodowski. Am I even saying that right? Glodowski. Speaking of primer, do you think Vallejo Mecha Ivory would be a substitute? Would be a suitable substitute for Wraithbone? Sure. You can use white. You can use the bone. You can use a light gray. Whatever primers you got. This stuff is gonna be like, this will work on primer. Like, that's how it's designed. And they haven't said, well, they don't say specifically it will only work with their particular primers. This is, they recommend you use their primers because they're selling primer. They're selling it. They want the whole system, right? So, and they just, they want to sell you more crap because, they're a business. They're a business. They're not looking to do you any favors, They're a business. They're looking to make money. That's what they're about. That's what this whole system is built on. Making money. To believe otherwise is kind of naive. John J, episode 254. We just whip it out when we need to. I knew somebody was going to catch that. I didn't say nothing. I tried to keep it on down low when I said it. I realized that after I said that, I was like, somebody's going to catch that and repeat that. J Kookie 88. Hey Chris, saw the video of the contrast you did with Luca. I'm already sold on the brown. Yeah, definitely, man. I would highly recommend the brown. If you're only going to pick up one color, Snakebite Leather. If you're only going to pick up one color. But I would pick up more colors. And definitely the thinner. Definitely the thinner. George Hintz over on Twitch. Hi. Just got home. Whom? Is that what you said? Whom? Yeah, whom. Here's what he wrote. Whom? William Woodward. Where does one find transparent paints other than the contrast? You can find it Minotaur Ghost Tints. I think Vallejo makes transparencies, although I found that their transparencies are more like translucency. Tamiya, but those are more alcohol based. They're more like they're more alcohol based acrylics. They're not water based acrylics. They're more like alcohol based acrylics, but they have clear colors as well. And Tamiyas are really great. If you're only ever going to pick up one Tamiya color, the red, because you can use that with Uhu glue and make that bloody, gory, drooly. You ever see that on models where like the mouth is like, and you got that stringy blood and everything like that? That's great. That recipe, Uhu glue, Tamiya clear red, and a tiniest of dot of Abaddon black or just Chaos black or whatever black you've got mixed in. Greatest stuff. You can play with that for hours. Actually, you don't get much time to play with the actual stuff, but doing it on models looks really cool. So, yeah. But there are other instances of, now, like water-based acrylics as transparencies. I'm sure Vallejo does. I'm sure MIG Ammo does. I would try those two paint lines for transparency. I'm pretty sure Vallejo does, but my experience with the transparencies with Vallejo is they were translucent. They weren't like crystal clear. And I mean, when you get the Citadel contrasts, they're not, they don't look transparent looking through the bottle. They look kind of murky, but that's because of that medium. I suspect that's that medium that gives it that surface tension. That is what gives it that murkiness. But once you spread it out, it's transparent. It's a transparency. If it was a translucence, then you would have more paleness to the color. It would become pale, be less it'd be desaturated. But because the color is so rich and saturated, that is a transparency. So how deep that color is stays that deep. So yeah. William Woodward, hello from Cincinnati. Hello. Hey, yeah, we're looking to maybe take a trip this summer to Ohio. Because we want to go to Dayton Hall of Fame. Nocturne Owl. I remember Pony Pledge. Yeah, I remember Pony Pledge too. I wonder what happened to that kid, because he was around all the time. And, I realize, young fella, other pursuits. I was young once too. And I mean, like, there was times where my hobby interests dipped, and then I was really into the hobby. It was usually between girlfriends. Just, oh, she's taking all my attention. Then I, break up, whatever. Oh, okay, I'm back to 40K. 40K will take care of me. Oh, no, she wants to take care of me. Okay. Oh, no, 40K was, you know what I mean? So, yeah. I get it. I get it. What is this? Bed Ungenslada? Hello there. Hello. I don't know again how to pronounce that name. Bedunkuses? Yeah, name butcher. Said at the beginning of the show, name butcher. Danish artist. Looking forward to white contrast paint. White has always worked against me. Sure. The Apothecary White, I know people keep screaming at me to, do demos of it. And if anybody watches Lee, which went up today on Mini Wargaming, if anybody watches Lee's reaction video, which is another story too, the reaction videos. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's just... Like, is there a reading disability that people don't seem to understand? It's like one guy was writing, this was a terrible review. It's not a review. It's a reaction video. It's the person's reaction to what they're playing with, what they're seeing, what they're doing. It's a reaction. That's what it's about. The video is about the person, not what they're doing, not what their tools they're using, it's not about that. It's about the person. So... yeah, that point seemed to have flew past a whole bunch of people's heads. So I don't know if people have any kind of reading disabilities or just comprehension disabilities. I don't know, but there's a lot of dummies out there. I know, but anyway, it's the internet. The internet's dumb. The internet will make you dumb. It can make you smart. It's a tool, but it'll make you dumb. John Chavez. Hello from Michigan. Hello. TF. So it's just pre-mixed glaze? Not just, but essentially. It's a transparency with a additive to increase the viscosity where it'll act like the shade washes. And it has about that similar kind of consistency as the shade wash. It's thinner. It doesn't feel as thin as the shade wash. It feels a little thicker than that. But not like thin paint. If you've really kind of broken the paint down. It's its own thing. But they're wonderful. Like, the colors are so saturated. Like, if you've ever used Gilliman Blue, right? You ever use Gilliman Blue? And, like, it just looks fantastic in here. But when you apply it to a surface... it's really, really quite pale. It's not as bold. Whereas Talisar Blue or even Ultramarines Blue, it is super saturated. I mean, it's because, again, the color is designed to go in one shot on a surface, push it to really dark tones in the recesses while staying with a nice mid-tone and offering an edging of highlights on the surface. They're really fantastic. So it's not simply those colors with an additive. And you've got contrast. It's not that simple. To get it that simple has to be done at the manufacturing phase. For the most part. So, yeah. Now, if you shop around and you find yourself... man, you could probably even use printer's ink. If you know how there's printer refills? I'm sure you could probably find some of that stuff. Now, I don't know what you could add to it. So don't try it, but I'm sure somebody really clever out there who knows exactly what that chemical makeup is of printer ink, if it will jive with acrylics, and if you could use acrylic additives, you might be onto something there too. Because essentially that's what it is. That's what it is. This contrast system, that's all it is it's like a printer, And of course your color theory has to adjust to it. And I know you guys have heard me talking about this quite a bit, that you have to adjust your color theory, and you do, because traditional painting is you can start dark and build your highlights up. This system, you can't do that. You can't start dark and build up. It's you start bright at the brightest point and build down. This system is really one directional. If you're going to stay entirely within the paint system, okay, you can only start at the brightest point and work your way down. Okay. Whereas with traditional painting, with normal Citadel paints, you can start off dark, you can start off light, you can start off at the brightest point and build your color down. You totally can do that. You can also start off with the darkest tone and build the color up, and you can totally do that. But the contrast system doesn't work like that. You got to start at the brightest point. So if you want really bright models, you got to start at the brightest point, and then you can build your color downwards. And if you're going to do multiple layers and stuff like that, then you're better off either being very careful where you're applying paint, or put darker tones on top of lighter tones, but start with your lightest tones. That's really some of the biggest stuff that I would highly recommend for anybody out there interested in the contrast system. Yeah. But there is a difference. Now, once you realize these differences, which, like I just explained, so it's in your brain already now that I've told you, there is a slight difference. Swapping between the two, it's not like, oh my god, I'm in this system and I'll never be able to paint traditionally, or I paint traditionally and I'll never be able to go to the contrast system. Again, that's kind of stupid, but just as soon as you know it, I mean, you just flip-flop between the two. I mean, it's not hard. Again, I mean, like, if you're finding it hard, then you might have a learning disability. That's a possibility. It sounds harsh, I know, but there's a lot of dummies out there. Peep eater. I thought that said poop eater. Peep eater. How about the other big news of the re-release of the Forge World paints to the main GW paint line? Pretty nifty, yes. And again, I love those Forge World clears. Oh, that's the other color. Duh! Somebody was asking, are there other clear colors? Forge World. The Forge World clear colors. The Forge World clear colors, I really like. And I've done that same thing where I make the additive, add it, put it on the model, and it acts the same. And in fact, I'm going to have to try it next. I'm going to have to see, because I still have my Forge World paints. I'm going to add the contrast medium. Damn it, I kind of wish I had all the paints here now. Anyway, add it to the Forge World and see if you get the same thing as the contrast. Right? Will you get the same thing? But definitely pick yourself up some of them Forge World clears as well. Because sometimes you want to just straight up glaze a surface. You don't want it to do the surface tension thing, right? So, like, if you don't have an airbrush and you're going to build these colors up, yeah, sometimes you don't want that action to creep into the recesses, that viscosity. Sometimes you don't want that. You want just a straight up glaze. And that's where those Forge World clear colors are going to come in. I like the Forge World clears. I highly recommend them. They're really good. Yeah, they come in a flip-top paint pot, but like, get yourself a pipette. Like, how freaking hard is it? Just, I use a little glass eyedropper, and I just draw paint out of the paint pots whenever I do that. Especially when I'm airbrushing, that's all I do. Is just grab a little bit, bloop, pop it in. People are like, "Oh no, it's in a paint pot. You can't use it." Oh, for God's sakes, people! I swear to God. Maybe I'm just getting old and cranky. People are just kind of just pissing me off. Anyway, Warblat. As someone who has played a few years, I'm going to use the paint for doing 80 Imperial Guard units. You can totally do that, and you'll blast right through them. Get yourself that light brown, the green, the flesh. You're done. You're almost done. You're almost done at that point. You go pick up your those three colors, the green, the brown. What ground? Brown? Oh, there is a light brown, which probably is pretty good for that uniform color. Like the straight up regular Kate. Unless, of course, whatever your color scheme is, I guess is really what it is. Those colors, you're done. You're half. You buy that purchase. You make that purchase. You're pretty much already done. Your army. I know it sounds really hard to believe, and it sounds like I'm really hyping it up and building it up, and I suppose in a way I kind of am. Sure, I kind of am. But it's because I know that these things are awesome, and I can really see the potential a lot of people can make with these things. There's going to be a lot of great paint jobs that people going to be using these paints for. Is the entire miniature going to do that? No. Could they? Some clever individual probably will, and paint an entire model in contrast, and it will be indistinguishable from a model painted with Citadel color. I could see it now. And you know, like I watch like Andy and Rich. They're award-winning painters. Ben, and I see their examples with the contrast. Fabulous. Now, are they sticking with entirely within the entire range? I don't know. But what they've initially laid out with contrast and what you can do, oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And so I'm waiting for somebody out there who's going to stick with entirely within the range as a challenge to paint something display standard, Golden Demon standard. Somebody will do it. Somebody will. Won't be me, because I don't got time. It's a bit of an excuse, but I honestly don't have much time. It's actually been fairly. I've been really busy this last couple weeks making videos for my channel and for Mini Wargaming. I've been very busy, so I'm looking forward to when the hype dies down for contrast, so that I can relax again and just kind of go back to doing Wave the Brush, you know. Ha 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 ha. Anyway. Joe K. There is Tamiya Transparent Vallejo Premium Candy Colors. Oh, okay. Golden High Flow Candy. Oh, yeah, we were just talking about Golden High Flow. Duh. And the Forge World Inks. Yeah. Thank you, Joe K. Yes. Excellent. Geo Fits. Heyo, Kris. Got my Green Stuff World Aztec rolling pin in the mail, so I can really get to work on my Seraphons now. Cool. Grim. I came back to here, Cincinnati. If you go, you should try Skyline Chili. If you go, Kris, to Cincinnati, yeah, Skyline Chili. Okay. I'll take it from Grim at that point. Sir Peter Butter. Their reading disability is that they don't read. Yeah, you know, I know. The fan episode 254. It's pale in contrast. It pales in contrast. Oh my. The jokes. Paul Vitic. Name butcher. Said at the beginning of the show. Anyway. Hey Kris. Paul from Scotland here. Just managed to test the new contrast paint at my local store and pre-order the new paints. Can't wait until next week. Really like the yellow. Awesome. So like I said, try them out. Try them out. If you know, I mean, okay, like, if you're not terribly interested in the paints, you're not likely to try them and fall in love with them. You're not likely to buy any. You're just already not. You're just not. But if you're kind of on the fence, like, man, I could give them a try, maybe. Who knows? Let's see where it goes. Maybe for a project I have. Then, yeah, you try them and you go, oh, yeah, okay, I'm sold. And, you know, that's great, you know. It's great that you're open to those kind of ideas, because somebody who's already made up their mind without trying, without even considering or even imagining the possibilities, that's somebody of very, you know, low quality as far as what they can imagine, because they lack vision. They lack vision. And if you can imagine the possibilities of what you can do with these kind of paints, which you've, you know, I'm talking about newer people now. More experienced painters, yes, you've probably already been playing with transparencies, and this will be an old hat? Old bag? No, old hat. I think that's the expression, right? Old hat. These will be something familiar, which is why I like them, because it is something familiar. Because, oh, I can see. And that's why I can see the possibilities as somebody who starts out with these paints. As they progress, these will grow with you, and you will use them for different things. They will still have purpose as you develop as a painter. People are like, nope. And they probably talk that way too. Nope. Fucking dummies. I got short page. I was actually telling my family this there. I have low tolerance for stupidity and cowardice. Those are two things I will not tolerate in this world from people around me. I don't tolerate it. Sorry for anybody who fits into one of those two categories. I'm very harsh on it. I'm very harsh. Sophie Weil. Hi, everyone. I'm so late today. Okay, well, welcome. Although you probably wrote that a while ago, so. Holy crap, is it already 1 o'clock? Did I start the show late? Have I been talking? I'm still like saying hello to everybody here. Rolling Thunder. Love that, Rolling Thunder. Hi from Alberta. Love your work. Well, thank you. Old Man Logan over on Twitch. Also note that the Forge World Clear Colors are coming back to Citadel Range. Yeah, those reaction videos were great, by the way, Chris. Lee. Yeah. Thank you, Grim. Yeah. I mean, that was the point of the videos, was to get everybody's reaction. And it was kind of hilarious how everybody really loved Matthews, right? Because I think so many people who are, in this hobby, especially wargamers, like there's, there's painters and there's wargamers, right? And so a lot of the wargamers, I'm sure, have a lot of unfinished models. And it's kind of, they're in that same category as Matthew, that, they love to play, they love the look of their army, but holy cramoles, it's a lot of work to try and get those models painted. And so with these paints, it's an opportunity to get paint on those models, get them to a point where they look pretty darn good on the table, and keep playing, right? So, people who do have good painted armies don't have to look at a gray army and go, oh, like what's, like I'm wearing a tux to a back alley, fight here with guy no shirt on, shirtless Joe over here. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, come on, like, let's have some class, right? Because again, the big part of the game itself is the visual element, right? It's cinematic. You have this whole table, and especially when you have like really great painted terrain, and you know what I mean? Like, there's just so many ways to have great looking tabletops that why not get your armies painted to reflect that? It doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes the hobby that much better. And you as a wargamer can introduce new people to the hobby, which is what you want to do, because more people in the hobby means more sales, more new products, more players, more games. It's more. Like, I don't understand why people get all snooty and snobby about stuff. Like, piss off, Introduce people, share the love, and get people into this, because this is a really fun hobby. It's a really great hobby. I attribute this hobby to because being in it since my youth, since I was 13, it kept me off the streets, into drugs, and it didn't keep me away from alcohol. But, you know what I mean? I attribute this to a lot of positive things in my life that kept me from getting into trouble, as it were, And my friends who were also troublemakers as well. I'm not saying I didn't get into trouble. I'm just saying that it could have been a lot worse. It can always be worse. But this hobby, it's a positive. Yes, it's expensive, but all hobbies cost money, and all hobbies can get pretty expensive. There's not many hobbies out there that are free. And if you want to get good at your hobby, it costs, right? So, yeah. Anyway, off on rants again. King 555, Wave the Brush, episode 254, Rise of the Painting Grandfather. Oh, grumpy old man. Well, god dang it, I get so mad sometimes. People with just limited imaginations just piss me off when they can't fathom the ideas, the possibilities. They can't imagine. They lack so much vision that this world is just like horse blinders on their eyes, and they're just seeing the world like this. Like, can you imagine? Like, that's horrible. Some people are going around the world looking through the world like that. That's horrible. Horrible. I feel bad for them. I feel bad. But again, I have low tolerance for them, and so I don't deal with it. I just... Anyway. Now I'm getting mad. Berserk 2112. How's a dry brush look on top of the contrast? Well, for Mini Wargaming, I did a contrast video showing a Seraphim Carnosaur. I dry brushed on top of that to finish off the effect. I also posted 2 videos of painting an Imperial Fist, 2 different ways of painting an Imperial Fist, and I dry brushed on top of that with Citadel colors. So, yeah. But how's it look on top of the contrast? It looks fine. It holds. It doesn't like peel the paint off or anything like that. I'm pretty sure I've read that somewhere where somebody said, "No, you can't dry brush on top of it because it peel the paint off." Like, Did you try the paints, you moron? No, you didn't. I know you didn't because I didn't see you at Games Workshop. Like, this was a while ago. People were talking like that. It was just like, you freaking morons. Don't talk about things you don't know. Just, I just want to drop a huge F-bomb. Try to keep it PG, people. Try to keep it PG. Although some PG movies, they allow one F-bomb, right? And still can stay PG. I might. If we keep going like this, I might. Majestic Space Duck. Hey Chris, can you comment on the contrast on if the contrast works on non-Citadel undercoats like Vallejo White through an airbrush? I've tried it on top of Stano Res, and it's fine. It's primer's primer. As long as you're using a primer, the contrast will sit on top. Use a bright primer. Like if you only have, like, say, Vallejo White, yeah, go ahead and use it. You're fine. Don't over prime, of course, because any problems that you have over priming would otherwise cause problems anyway. But yeah, I think you guys get what I'm saying here. Holy Kermoles. Grim. Lee's reaction to them was fun, and his comments about others were pretty amusing early on. Yeah. No, because I know, like, a lot of people take his opinion seriously because he's a more experienced painter, and he's his odometer as far as painting miniatures, like, I've been in this hobby since '88. I'm not sure exactly when he started in the hobby. I think he mentions in the video, but his odometer as far as how far his painting brushes have gone as far as getting armies done probably exceeds mine. So yeah, I'd be willing to make that bet that he's probably painted more armies than I. So yeah, and I know a lot of people would take very seriously his opinion of the paints. I mean, he's like, his first reaction before we had shot the reaction video, his first reaction was wow. So, and that's high praise, high praise coming from him. That's him getting hysterical. That's like, Beatlemania, like the teenage girls when the Beatles, like that's that equivalent. Like him going, wow. Yeah, that's that same level. I don't know if Lee's watching, but he's probably going, yeah, that's about it. Yeah, all right. He's so subdued. Sophie, wow, we'll keep you busy asking for more demos. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I'll answer the questions that are more fringe. Okay? More specific and fringe. Not, how does it look on a skeleton? Mike, I'm going to do Blood Angels. How does it look for a Blood Angel? You know what I mean? That stuff, you know what? Yeah, you can go ahead. Go. But if you're going, yeah, if I add this particular color and on top of this and with a particular kind of thing, what would that look like? Then that sounds interesting, and I'll give it a try. Because there's been comments that I've been like, hey, that's interesting, and I've marked on their comments like, hey, that is interesting. I may have to try that. So, yeah. Oh man, William Woodward, awesome folks, thanks. Deaf Skyline. Oh, the Skyline, yeah, for Cincinnati, right? Gotcha. I know what we're talking about. Clayton Tate, episode 254. Are we contrasty enough for the Contrast Club? I think so. I mean, we've been talking about it enough for weeks. I know I have. And you know what? I'm glad the pre-order's coming up, and I'm glad everybody's going to get their hands on this stuff, because I think, maybe the hype train will slow down a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. If it sells out, which I suspect it will, then the hype train has no brakes. And who knows if it goes off the rails? I don't know. Clayton Tate, I have an actual question. Could you put black paint in a gray primer to darken it, or will it stop the primer from doing its job? Like black paint? Why not just use a black prime and mix it into the gray prime to just change the tint a bit? Simply just to add the black paint to the primer. Although you should be able to add a bit of black paint, because really adding a bit of black paint, like if you loaded up your airbrush, I'm assuming you're talking about your airbrush. You load up your airbrush with gray prime, and you added just a drop. that probably is more than enough to change the overall value of that gray. So you really wouldn't need to add that much. And in fact, you probably would end up adding more water or something to, or even if it was water in your line or something, that could also add more water than what you would actually change by adding the paint and change that surface tension of the primer and everything. So I would suspect adding like a drop of black to gray primer to darken it just a bit. Yeah, I'd imagine it probably would not affect the paint drastically. I would be willing to bet. Am I going to put money on that bet? No. But I'd be willing to take that bet. if we had money on it. Dark Commission. I sat back after painting my door frames, and the first thing I thought was edge highlight. Sean Price, is there a way to make your own shade or wash paint? Yes, I have a video. Go click on my channel. Go to just the tip. Make a shade wash or make a shade from any paint. I think that's what it's called. Make a shade from any paint. It's just the tip. That's the series. Go to that playlist and look for the video where I talk about making your own shade wash. Bang. You know how to do it. I've thrown that recipe out there for everybody. Just follow that example and you can do whatever you want. If you want to save yourself some money and you're not interested in contrast paints, you're just absolutely not having any of it, go ahead and try that. But there is a limit because you still have to pick up clear colors to do exactly what contrast does. So bear that in mind. John Chavez. Am I saying it right? Chavez? Anyway, hey Kris, I'm really curious about contrast, especially the white over lead belcher or other metal base coats like gold. I am going to film some stuff. I was going to do it Friday, but after I did the live cast yesterday, all ambition went out the window, and I was like, So, yeah. Geofits. I was seeing some people saying that the personalities in the community hyping contrast paints were only doing so because GW was paying them to, which was disappointing to see that close-mindedness. Yeah, I wasn't paid. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful to the Games Workshop for putting me up and bringing me to England to experience Warhammer World behind the scenes, being invited to that event, being included in that ensemble of talent with all those other great artists. Yeah, I'm grateful. Am I going to talk up the paint? Yeah, a little bit. You know, I do think, I mean, now I'm being honest when I say, yeah, I think this contrast system is fantastic. I see the value that it offers to a brand new person. I see the value it has to intermediates and advanced. Because any intermediates and advanced who are into clear colors and candy colors, they have already been doing this. This is just more paints. It's more shades. Like that Ethermatic blue, I love that color. Does anybody else make that color in clear? No. Am I glad I have that in my collection of paints? Yes. So, am I going to use it all the time? No. You know, it'll get used around sporadically here and there. You know, and same thing with like all the other artists who were invited to that event. You know, like, man, it was, the joke was said that it was like the Avengers. Gathering the Avengers together. It was, you know, which, you know, kind of was, you know. But it was great meeting all those guys. Like, all of them, super awesome dudes. Every single one. Everybody who was invited to that event, all great guys. I know, like, Pete the Wargamer, I didn't really get the chance to talk much with him. But I've seen his videos. I'm familiar with his work. And, you know, like, the odd conversation we had here and there, I know, like, you know, seemed like a really great guy. Tyler, Mango Miniatures, you know, really fantastic dude. Sam Lentz, freaking awesome guy. Ben is a freaking awesome guy. I owe him a beer. Andy, Henry, Rich. Oh, crap, I'm forgetting somebody, aren't I? Oh, Johan. Freaking Johan. If you've seen him in the video, Johan's the one with the really, really deep voice. Yeah. He's a really great guy. Everyone. So awesome. But yeah, I mean, but as far as, being paid by GW, no. But I am super grateful to Games Workshop for giving me that opportunity. Because since I was a 13-year-old boy, I've wanted to go to Games Workshop headquarters. That's a dream I had when I really started getting into this hobby. And, it was really kick-ass to get there and finally see it and just immerse myself in all that Warhammer goodness, And I highly recommend it to anybody considering heading over there. Go. Check it out. It's really cool. One minor thing, I wish that the Warhammer Museum, the gallery, wasn't just models. I kind of wish it also had the artwork, like an art gallery. I kind of wish it had that, so you had all the miniatures from days of yore to today, and all the artwork from days of yore to today. I think that'd be fantastic. I think that would make that gallery portion so much better. It'd make it so much better. But anyway, Sophie, wow, thought it was funny lecturing your boss about keeping the pot closed. LOL, Matt's paints must dry out quick. I honestly, I don't think his pants. Wow, his paints dry out quick because he doesn't paint that often. But yeah, I guess it's kind of funny. I'm going any further out that. Dark Commission, episode 254. Stupid cowardly snobs need not apply. Yeah, they're not. I just don't need to. Jess, I always say if you're going to spend hundreds on an army, you may as well make it look as good as it can. You will meet other people and make new friends with an interesting army too. Yes, exactly. Right? Because when you have that fully painted army on a beautiful table and you're playing against somebody else who has a fully painted army and it looks really great, visual, people come around and go, hey, what is this game? This looks really, really fun. This looks really cool. Look at all these little things going on and blah, It's a viewer experience. People, can watch and sit and watch what happens and, ooh, I'll move here. No, he's going to hide over here. You know what I mean? And everybody gets right into it, So, yeah. Nathaniel at Kris, read emails, less rant. Yeah, we better get some emails done. I got quite a few. Old Man Logan over on Twitch, PG-13 allows one F-bomb, PG movies. No. Oh, PG-13 is an F-bomb. Okay, PG-13. There we go. Grim, he said he started in 91 as I recall. Oh, Lee. You're talking about Lee. Was it 91 he said? Yeah. So, I was around 88, but Lee's a hair older than me. I think he's like older by a couple months. Yeah, we're about the same age. Nathaniel, Kris sounds like Kermit the Frog. That wasn't Kermit the Frog. Wait, hold on. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog here. We're going to talk about contrast. Thanks, Kris. Really helped with the decision about the undercoat. Ordered my contrast bundle a few hours ago. Mo Majestic Space Duck, yeah? Awesome. All right, I'm going to skip through a bunch of the questions here. Holy crawly. Mr. Classicor. Made it to a live show, only an hour late. Yeah, you didn't miss much. It's just me rambling on about stuff. Maze 200 SX. Hi, Kris. I had a chance to test contrast for myself today in our local Warhammer store. Awesome. And what'd you think? Oh, let me see. Kris also went there for sure, just for the Bugman's Brewery. Oh, yeah, totally. I sat there all the time. Consumed as much. Yeah, actually, Bugman's is really good. It's a beer that they make there. It's good. I enjoyed it. I drank a lot of that, actually. Probably too much. Not that I made an ass of myself. At least unless everybody was really polite and just, whatever. He's first time, It's first time here. So he's drunk as shit. Just, making an ass of himself. Old Man Logan. Would Duncan be Tony Stark? Or who would be Captain America? I don't know who Captain America is. I'll let them fight over Captain America. As long as I get to be Incredible Hulk, I'm okay with that. Yeah, would Duncan be Tony Stark? No, Duncan. I don't know if Duncan would be. No. Because Duncan was part of the corporation. So Duncan would be more like part of S.H.I.E.L.D. Would he be Nick Fury? No, because Nick Fury falls to somebody else who assembled the Avengers, right? So somebody else is Nick Fury. Duncan is more like, who's the really awesome S.H.I.E.L.D. agent? That's who Duncan would be. Duncan's not part of the Avengers. I'm sure he really appreciates that. I'm sure. He's probably like, who the F is this Kris guy talking about? No, we've met a few times before, so I think he knows who I am. And I made a comment too. I insulted Peachy. I insulted Peachy when because Duncan and Peachy were demonstrating for us. We were all sitting around watching monitors and watching what they were doing as they were demonstrating contrast, and we were at some sort of lull, and I remember Peachy, they were like focusing in on Peachy's thumb, and I made the comment that Peachy's thumb looked like a big toe. Like on the monitor, you can see like this thumb, and it it looks like a toe on the screen. And I made that comment, and I was like, oh, and then we were laughing about it and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, probably not very nice on my part making fun of Peachy like that, but anyway. Oh man, Mr. Classicor. John for Thor? Johan for Thor. Yeah, Johan for Thor for sure. Yeah. Sophie Wow. Agent Coulson, that's his name. Yeah. Because he's part of the organization. Right? Duncan's part of the organization, so because the Avengers are from outside. Like to stay within the realm of the analogy. Right? Duncan is Captain Marvel. Duncan's a man. Maze. The paint is great. However, I stuck with some build up on Space Marine Primaris. I wanted to create salamanders and tried two different greens, the Orc Green and the Warpstone one with white primers. Okay. I'd imagine for the salamanders, I'd imagine the Warpstone, probably green, probably works best because it's got a nice vibrancy, whereas the Orc one feels a bit not darker, but a little bit, deeper tone, I think. Nathaniel, Duncan is not Coulson. For this analogy, sure, he's Coulson because he's part of the Shield. That's Shield is the organization. We're the outsiders, coming, being a part of. It's like contractors, right? The Avengers are essentially contractors for Shield. Maze, but again, very easy. Gets nice into details. I was maybe suffering from too small brush. Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, you gotta pick a size appropriate brush just to minimize your brush strokes and stuff like that. Old man Logan, meh. Don't worry about insulting Peachy. He is like unnamed Shield agent number 5. I don't know about that. Oh, poor Peachy. Everybody's ripping on Peachy now. Ghost Starman Deluxe. The original Captain Marvel is from the comics was a man. Sure. Okay. What are we discussing here? Majestic Space Duck, Captain Marvel. Yeah, it's Marvel. Is the male? Is the male? Or male? M-A-I-L. Maze, the Warpstone looks great. Comes quite into the Salamander's range between the dark green and the moot green. Yeah, it's like that Warpstone is kind of like the Warpstone Glow. Citadel color, like where the hell is it now? Yeah, it's like when you apply it, it should be similar to this kind of value, right? This is what Warpstone Glow. Yeah, sorry. Or sometimes I gotta do the old man thing where I look over my glasses. Anyway, yeah. Raziel, but I can definitely envision some good uses I'll have for some contrast. Sure, yeah, definitely, man. Like these are clear colors that have a viscosity where they'll fall into the recesses. And like I said, the browns are fantastic. Snake white leather is just great for doing like the straps and stuff like that, where you just don't really feel like messing around with them. Like if you're going for a tabletop, because if you're going for display or high tabletop or anything like that, you're still gonna stick to your normal methods to do so. But the contrast helps get some of those quick jobs done. You know what I mean? Like, and who doesn't want to just like if you're playing, yeah, contrast is gonna be fantastic. If you're a war gamer, yeah. If you're strictly painting and you're all, I'm a painter, then yeah, you're gonna be, somewhat limited. But, whatever. John Chavez. Is Sam Loki? I don't know. Again, like I said, As long as I get to be the Hulk, I don't care who everybody else is. They can all. Everybody else can fight about who they are in the Avengers. Mr. McAllister. Friend of mine tested contrast in a store today. He's in love with them over metallics. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are been trying it and loving it. I've seen the examples. One fella showed me at the store there yesterday at work. I liked it, but I wasn't 100%. But I'll try it, and I'll see if I can convince myself. Rezio, I'm interested in parchment and flesh. Yeah. Again, I mean, that skeleton horde. That's a good one too. Just for bones and stuff. Yeah, that's a good color. There's a lot of good colors in that range, man. I don't understand why people are like, one-dimensional bitches. Okay, are we caught up in the comments? I am caught up to the comments. Woohoo! Let's do... Oh, wait. Ryan McGowan. Got my paints pre-ordered. Forgot Skeleton Horde, though. Crap. Yeah, Skeleton Horde, man. For bones, skeletons. Come on. You got to do it, man. You got to do it. You got to get ins on that. Ins? Got to get ins on that. Can't speak English. Mountain Miniatures Gaming. There he is. I haven't seen anyone try it over black yet. Have you tried? Does any color show? The first Wave the Brush, or I demoed episode 2. What is this? What am I on right now? 254? 252? Wave the Brush episode 252. I demo color on top of black. So if you're curious about black, I show it on top of black. Sophie Wild, catch you next time. Have to go. See you later, Sophie. Have a good day. Maze, Skeleton Horde, is that is the go-to color for parchment and bone, in my opinion. I use it in the Imperial Fist video. I use it for the parchment because, I figured it seemed about right? For the parchment with the light browns and stuff. It seemed like the right way to go. I just took a shot at it. I used Skeleton Horde. It was kind of, because it looked really great for a bone color, right? And so that's where I used it. And I thought, yeah, great, and, what else are we talking about? Oh, for bone? Yeah, and for bone it's fantastic, so, yeah. Raziel, healthy skepticism is not negative, or at least it shouldn't be vilified. A lot of people will want to test it for themselves before getting excited. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Test it for yourself. Test it. But don't go, oh, it's garbage. Oh, no, I'm not using it. Without even trying it. Without even looking at the results. Without, experimenting with it. I mean, come on. What is that? This is just trolling at that point. I mean, if you're sitting there going, well, I'm a little bit on the fence about it, I'll give it a try. I think it's not really for me because, what I'm doing, what I'm currently using, what tools I already have. Sure, like I said, if you're an experienced painter, you've probably already been using stuff like this. If you're an experienced painter. But that's not who this stuff is geared towards, and it's not who I'm saying that is going to find this really great. I'm saying brand new people to the hobby, or people who have been really on the, leery about getting their models done. That's who this is for. If you're an experienced painter, Games Workshop is not selling this to you. They're not. You're not part of the equation as far as that is concerned. Veterans, overall, not a huge factor. It's new people. That's the bigger market. They're a business, about making money. Don't ever think otherwise about a business, that they're not about making money. They're not making friends. They're not looking for fans. They're all customers. They're all customers. They don't give a shit about you. You're a customer. So, Mr. Classicor. Going to learn the colors using them on RPG minis by the time I have caught up with those. I will know all the paints and probably need a refill or 3. I have loads of minis for D&D and such. Yeah, I know. And people have been asking about other minis. Will these work on this kind of mini? What about Infinity? What about Bolt Action? It's paint. It's paint. Yes, it'll work. It's paint. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Majestic Space Duck. Can't wait to use the Skeleton Horde on my Judgment Hex Skulls. Yeah. Like if you are intimidated about painting skulls, like getting that nice bone color, yeah, Skeleton Horde, bang, boom, done. You know? Maze. The only issue for me personally is that the model painted with contrast looks way different from my traditional painted models, and so they don't fit into my army. No. But it sounds like you're an experienced model painter. So, you know, try and figure out how you can go about it. Or, you know, I don't know. Because I definitely wouldn't recommend stripping your old models. Unless, of course, you're not happy with your old models. And the way what you can accomplish with contrast is more pleasing to you, then maybe you might want to consider. I really don't recommend it. But, you know. But yeah, as far as color matching, yeah, that can be a challenge. That can be a challenge. But again, people who are brand new to this and who are going to start with this system, yeah, they're not really going to have to worry too much about that, because as they become more and more experienced, their painting style will change anyway. And the colors, how they use it, will change. And so, yeah. It's a natural evolution, I think, that what people will, as they progress out of it, and use it more as auxiliary rather than primary. So, I think, anyway. I suspect, I should say. Raziel, I became an experienced painter largely in thanks to your videos and teaching. I value those skills you have taught over the years. Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, like I said, man, Games Workshop's not thinking about experienced painters. They weren't thinking of us. I mean, yes, they invited us because, you know, they wanted, you know, some names to, you know, help, you know, with that aspect of how this was going to be received. Right? Yeah, that's pretty much all I'll say about that. Yeah, like that was the whole point of that. So, but I mean, you know, again, it was, you know, it's marketing. It's marketing. Elven Darkness, just a number. Yeah, just a number, man. Hey, don't feel bad. You know, sometimes, yeah, you're just seen as just a number, just a customer. Aaron Seach, no hating being real. Works on light color primers. Sure. Ghost Star Deluxe. Will it work if I use contrast on my PP, though? On your PP? I was going to go somewhere with that, but I didn't want to get too gross. Napoleonic Daily. I'm looking forward to Apothecary White for 1812 French uniforms. Like doing like the pants and stuff. Yeah, that should work well. Just put like a white prime down and then put that down. And then that should give you, yeah, and you'll be done. Especially if you have like a bazillion of them to do. Yeah, that should do the trick. Try it. That's all I can recommend to everybody is try it. Try it for yourself. Don't immediately dismiss it. Even if you are an experienced painter, don't immediately dismiss it. Try it for yourself. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you to buy it, just telling you to try it. Yeah. So if you can get to a place where they're putting some demos on, or you have a friend who is picking it up, go try it for yourself. Raziel, no PP touch. TH, Kris, I was an experienced painter, but went 20 years without painting. I won't get an airbrush because I'm too old to learn something new, but I'm also lazy. Will I get something out of contrast? Possibly. It all depends. Like, do you got a lot of models you want to get through, and you're not too picky about getting, you know, highlights and, you know what I mean, like those kind of things? Well, I mean, you still can highlight on top of contrast. That's not an issue, but I mean, if you're looking to quickly get through and get to a pretty good tabletop, then yeah, I think you will get something out of it. It definitely, because again, contrast, really what it is, like what it's like, I should say, it's like laying down that base color and laying down that shade wash. And if you've ever fallen in love with your model after you've laid that shade wash down and said, geez, you know what, that's really fun right there. Yeah, I'm okay with even just that. Then contrast is definitely going to be something you're going to really like, I think. I suspect. But like I said, if you're really on the fence about it, just try it out. no harm in trying it out. No harm going to a demo and just checking it out. There's no harm in that. You know? Yeah. Maize, 100% contrast is very good. Just saying the different color looks different. For people who don't like to paint, they run out of excuses to not paint with contrast. It's a no-brainer and it looks much better. It looks much better than gray. Contrast is better than just gray or primer. Definitely. 100%. I'll stand right behind that. Bang. 100%. It is better than just gray plastic. You can't... That's another point. You can't argue against that. That it looks better than gray plastic or just primer on your model. I should have that sign. Change my mind. Change my mind. Old man Logan. Emails? Yeah? Holy crap, it's already 1:30? Jeez Louise, we're going to be doing this show till like 4 today. Nathaniel TH, even old dogs learn new tricks. Don't sell yourself short. Yeah. I wasn't going to go there, but, you know, because I don't know how old he is. He could be really old. He could be like 99. You don't know. I've only got like a year to live. Do I really have time to learn airbrushing? I don't know. TH, I'm picky though. Yeah, I am too. Like, I still, like, I'm picky and I'm nitpicky. But I still like contrast. You know, like I said, am I going to be using it on every paint job? Not likely. It'll get used here and there as effects or a way to resaturate a color, or if I throw a gradient down and I want to change the values, or if I want to just quickly paint something. Yeah, definitely. It's getting used. Definitely. If it's a tool in the toolbox, and if there's a job for it, guess what? I'm using that tool. Simple as that. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, do you always need a screwdriver? No, sometimes you need a hammer. Right? Is contrast paint, you know, a multi-tool? Not really. It's just a tool. It's just another tool. You know, airbrush, right? Can you do everything with an airbrush? Yeah, not really. Yeah. Same thing. It's just another tool. It's just another tool. That's all it is. The hype machine, yes, that even I have been fanning the flames of. But I'm excited about it. And again, I'm grateful for being invited to early access of this thing. So, because again, I truly believe that this paint is going to be around a long time. This system, definitely. It's something that's going to be around. This is not just some flash in the pan type of thing. I mean, time will tell if it proves me wrong on that. I'm open to being, maybe this will be a complete failure. Or, you know, the nature of painting itself changes. Those are all possibilities. McAllister. I have way too many traditional paints not to combine the two systems. Don't see why people seem to want to limit themselves to either one. No, exactly. And they're not different. They're not different. It's paint. It's just a transparency. We use transparency. Any experienced painter has been using transparencies for a long time. This is nothing new. But the way it's being marketed, the way it's being packaged, the way elements are being put together as one, and who is clearly the customer for this, that has changed. That's different. But the idea of what it is old. It's no big deal, you know? Even if it was a rebranding of something that already exists, other companies do that too. Look at Green Stuff World. I'm pretty sure that they don't make anything in their facility. I'm pretty sure they're just repackaging, which is fine. Lots of companies do that. Nothing wrong with it. You know, I like how Green Stuff World can find something and incorporate it into this wargaming hobby. I like that idea, you know, because like I seen one was for little round things that go around the bases for like doing like resins and, you know, things like that. I thought it was fantastic. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Or the little leaf punches for doing little miniature leaves. That's like a scrapbooking thing. I said, you know what? Geez, that's great. That'd be great for wargaming. Use that, you know? I applaud them. You know, for finding a market for all these little funny things. Yeah. Good job. You know? The only thing I wish is that I thought of it first. but I'm not really in the business of selling crap, so, you know. McClassicor. Classicor. Chris has managed to pronounce my name 3 different ways in 10 minutes. Yeah. Oh, Dark Commission, that's gross. My undies are black and white. They're contrast pants. Gross. Yes, let's do an email. Because we can pretty good. If you got headphones on, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Email time. It's email time. Oh, it's done. I'm here. I am playing with my freaking hair. What a vain asshole, eh? So we're waiting to get to the email, and Chris is sitting there playing with his freaking hair. Anyway, this is from Gruntwork. Hi, Chris and monkeys. Some input would be great. This is my slow progress Storm Raven of the Black Templar's Force. It is on a very early stage still. I wasted my time painting stuff in the cockpit and then tinted the canopy red with Tamiya Clear so none of the colors really show through anymore. My question is how to paint the small parts of the wings so that I would emulate lights when I add the clear bits on top of them that I paint with the Tamiya Clear red or Tamiya Clear green and red with. Do I just paint the center to a brighter white and let it fade outwards towards the edges? How would you do it? P.S. I know it's hard to get a clear picture from my explaining, so I placed red wings in the picture to show the spots on the wings. Any tips are welcome. Thank you, the Grunt Orc. And so let's have a look at his model, his work in progress here. And so he circled where he is going to lay down the clear red onto those areas that are going to be, basically he's going to illuminate them, or not illuminate them, but he's going to paint them so they look like little lights and they have some nice bright color to them. Excellent idea. And yeah, you can see his cockpits. Cockpits. You can see he painted the interiors, but then as he laid the clear red on top, it just completely dominates whatever's in there. So, lesson learned, I hope, because, yeah, what I do, and I learned that lesson a long time ago as well. What I do is I go grayscale. So I start off really dark and build up to a pure white. If I'm doing OSL, like, say, the consoles, illuminating the pilot or whatever, I do that purely in grayscale because I know that it's essentially, this is an example of what contrast is doing, what the contrast paints are doing, because we're going to keep talking. We're going to keep talking about contrast. I know you guys are freaking sick of this stuff, right? This is essentially what is going to happen with contrast paints. So he painted that underside, but as soon as he threw the clear red on top of the canopy, it changes entirely what the light is bouncing back to your eye and what you perceive. Now, the reason why we can see even dark colors through this is because the amount of ambient light bouncing through. The way the contrast works, if you start off black, that, obviously it's not going to show, right? So I think that's kind of self-evident by this point. So yeah, I would work entirely in grayscale in the cockpits from now on. To get that, the little lights glowing and to kind of have like a glow in there, yes, I would. Do you have an airbrush? If you don't have an airbrush, that's fine. Because you can always just create a slight gradient. I would build to the brightest white, and I would push the edges, creating a gradient. I would probably use something like take, I don't know, I'm just thinking about how easy or difficult we want to make this. I think, okay, say for example, okay, here we go. We take Dawnstone and Eshin Gray, and we take Dawnstone, break it down with Lamian medium, and do a slight glaze, leaving the center white, and push to either left or right of the center, leaving about a couple millimeters of white in the center, and just put essentially a bit of gray, thinned out gray, towards the outer edges, or whichever edge you imagine where the light source is. Whichever way you want to imagine it. I'm just imagining the center because, it's a center light, right? Kind of thing. Then you can use a slightly darker gray just at the very ends of the light bulb kind of thing. And then you can coat it with a clear red. And that would essentially be it. And that would give you a slight gradient when you looked at it, that it looked brighter red in the center and went to a deeper red. Now, if you want to push that contrast further so that it looks kind of more like it's a red and it pushes to pretty dark along the outer edges, then yeah, you could push it to almost to black. I really wouldn't push it further than that. If you want to get really fancy, you could use a mid-tone green towards the outer edges. And when you throw that red on top of it, the interference between the two, because they're complementary colors, red and green are complementary colors, the light will interfere with the two, and it should produce a deeper tone. And in fact, it should give you a desaturated tone. It actually might look more gray than anything else. It shouldn't look brown. If you're using that pure red like that, and you use a pure green to push towards those outer edges, it should push to a more neutral type of tone. That's if you want to get really fancy. Or even like a dark green towards those very edges. Yeah. And not push all the way to black. If you want to go that route. I mean, there's a few ways you can go about it. Like I said, like I always say, there are many ways to skin a cat. There are many ways to an end result. And that's just one way off the top of my head. Yeah. So it all depends really on where you want to create that gradient or that white spot. If you had an airbrush, you could just mask it off, paint the entire thing dark gray, and then use the airbrush, like a fine tip airbrush, and create that little spot of white with a slight glow, and then come in with a brush and paint that pure white spot in the center, and then hit it with Tamiya clear and be done with it. And that would be really cool as well. But I don't know if you have an airbrush. I don't know if that's an option for you. So, yeah. So thank you, to Grunt Orc, for posting that, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Another email. This one is from Roman Matanov. Am I showing his email? No. Okay, great. Hey, Kris. Got overly excited and built a thing. Turns out it's great as Mentor? I don't know what that is. Mentor? Anyway. We'll build a few squads of them and send some pics once I get around to painting them as well. Cheers. And that was a few days ago. And so let's have a look. We go, picture. Yeah, the picture was okay. Oh, we'll stay with this one. So, look at that. They got he's using the, the flying guys, the big backpacks, the legs I could see because they got the hoses and stuff and the big joints. Or is that the Gravis armor? I don't know. Really fun conversion, though. Oh, he's got printed heads, too. Oh, and those are printed shoulder pads as well. Very, very... Ooh, that guy looks cool. That guy looks cool. That's cool. I like that guy. Are these for, 30K? Is that what these guys are? Or are they just your own made-up thing? Either way, very cool. I like that you're taking the extra time to pick up extra bits and stuff like that, and making something different. I like it. Converting and creating your own thing should always be encouraged, and in fact, it shouldn't be discouraged. In the greater part of the community, conversion should always be welcomed. Just because don't see enough of the crap. He sent another batch of pictures as well. Here, I was just doing that while we were talking. But anyway, this dude's got wings. He's got the big halberd. I like it. Kind of Night Lordy kind of thing. Are those wings supposed to be attached to him, or is that part of his backpack and it's just for aesthetics? Or does he really have big bat wings? I think they're gaunt wings, aren't they? Or are they vampire wings? I can't tell. Really, really cool though. Oh, they gotta be, yeah, they've gotta be gargoyle wings because I can see like the little interior detail on the arm. Looks like Tyranid. It's usually that interior detail they throw on all the nids. That kind of oval with the ribbing kind of thing. Oval ribbing. What? Oh, he's a Night Lord. Okay, I can see a Night Lord on the shoulder pad now. Very, very cool. So these are going to be Night Lords. Ah, the old Night Lords. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. Well, awesome. Thank you, Ruben. I look forward to when you start laying some paint on them. There wasn't a question in there, was there? Was there a question in there? Was there? No, it was just... Yeah, you were just sharing. Yes, awesome. Well, thank you, Ruben, for sharing. And I look forward to more progress reports on that. Very, very cool. Any pressing comments right now? Oops, wrong button. Any pressing comments right now? Grim over on Twitch. Cool. It reminds me of 30k Night Lords with that melee weapon. Yeah. Melee or melee? How do you like to say it? I don't know. Snookhammer, Chris, my man, I was wondering if you could use the new contrast over Lead Belcher and Stormhouse Silver to do a Candy Apple Red Metallic like Custode Shoulder Pad. You'll find out soon enough. Because I have not tried it myself yet. Nathaniel, are the shoulder pads transparent? Yeah, it's 3D printed. Yeah, or it could be clear resin. Yeah, either one. 3D printed or transparent resin, one of the two. I'm leaning towards it's 3D printed. Yeah, Majestic Space Duck. Yeah, it's probably 3D printed. I would concur. I concur. Another email. Frickin' kidding me? Why'd that move? Why did that move? Oh, because I did the wrong damn thing. Son of a bitch. This is from Thomas. Hey, Chris, I was wondering, what do you think of these models I've been painting? I'm currently painting up Night Vault Box. I was also wondering if you have any tips for blending to get the ghost-like effect. And spoiler, Old Man Logan shared really excellent example of doing the blend as well. But anyway, very cool, nice and clean. Paint job's where it should be. I mean, you know, just take your time. You know, I don't know if you're a big fan of edge highlighting, but I would recommend some edge highlighting if that was something you wanted to do. With this here, now this is that, I'm gonna assume that Hexwraith Gloom or Hexwraith something or other. I'm seeing the way it's peeling it, almost like it's almost pulling from the edges on the lower half. And I'm wondering if the model was handled a lot before you applied this on there, because I noticed that if you've handled the surface a lot, you kind of get that kind of look. So if you've handled the model a lot, but you're using a painting handle to hold the model, but I don't know. But anyway, with these particular colors, I would use something like Lame Medium to thin the color out. Bring the color towards where you want it to be darkest. So, for example, here, I'm just going to change cameras here for a second. So, say, for example, you want the deeper color out towards the ends of the fabric, right? So, it's all ghostly, you know. You can thin that color down, apply it over the entirety of the surface, so you get some color transitions going on in the small recesses, but overall, it's not overwhelming as far as color is concerned. Then you could take a little bit of thinner, or do that first, add thinner, apply it over the entirety. Then, with that same mixture, once that first layer is dry, come in a little bit further down, like, you know, halfway down, and apply another layer, bringing the color down. Finish your brushstroke in one shot, bring it and finish it down towards the end of the detail that you're working on. That's a glazing technique, Okay, what you're essentially doing is glazing when you're using this stuff and allowing colors to interact with each other like that visually. The light plays through the pigments. You can do that to the point where you get to a deeper color, in which case you can even jump to another deeper color and start continuing on. So basically, it's kind of like the whole model, then say three quarters of the model, half the model, quarter of the model, right? And that will build a deeper color towards the ends. And you always want to finish your brushstroke near where you want the color to build. You don't want to overly saturate the area. You just want to, when your first initial one should be somewhat heavy, so it creeps into all the details and gives you some tonal variation while still maintaining the high points. But then you can build up color, finishing your brushstroke as you bring the color downwards and deepen it towards the ends of the fabric. Okay? So hopefully that helps. I don't think I've shown any of those models in any videos. But yeah, so like in this example here, I wouldn't have laid it down as heavy as you did. Because like up on the shoulders where you have that really dark green, I probably would have left it, like I would have done like a 1-to-1 mix of this pigment, which is what, the Night Haunt or Hex Gloom or whatever the heck it's called. I would have done a 1-to-1 mix with Lamian Medium and applied it over the entirety. And then used a slight mixture and gone about, 3/4 of the way, starting through just past the shoulders, like kind of like the armpit level, and brought it down towards the tips. Wait till that's dry, then halfway down. Then wait for that to dry, and then quarter of the way down, right? Bring the brushstrokes downwards towards those ends where you're finishing and you want the deeper color to appear. Now, of course, to salvage this stuff, you could apply light edge highlight. You could do a light dry brush if you're more comfortable with that. There are ways of turning this around. You could also... here's an interesting idea. I don't know if this will actually work. This is just an idea. What if you took, like, if you pick yourself up the contrast Apothecary White, thin it down just ever so slightly, and use it as a glaze to put on top of the highlights, or wherever you want to get brighter again. I wonder if that would work as well. That's just an idea. I don't know if if that would work. I've not tried it myself, so can't say. It's just a theory. Yeah, so hopefully that helps Thomas, and gets you an idea as far as, where you want to go with some of this stuff. Holy Carmoli, we've got 4 minutes left of the hour. Let's quickly get to another email. Let's do another jingle. Is there any pressing comments here? Any emergencies? Nathaniel, holy overexposure, Batman. What? Exposure? Oh, with the pictures? Can't be helped. Yeah. I mean, some people know how to take pictures with their cell phones. Some people don't. Just work with what I got. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, let's do another email because we're gonna hurry up and quickly get through these emails. Yeah, let's do another jingle just to keep everybody awake. Wake everybody up. So headphones, turn them up or down because here it comes. Email time. Email time. Alrighty, this one is from Daniel. Hello, Kris. I was hoping to use contrast to speed paint my minis. I have thousands of points of unpainted Tyranids. After seeing the new contrast system, would like to transition into it, but maintain my current scheme. I don't mind minor deviation or minor variation. Right now, my process is prime white, paint the skin a light blue, Wash with Drakenhof Nightshade, let dry, apply on smaller models, blend, some Kalia green shade, then dry brush that light blue, touch up the arm leg details with some pink, wash with Reikland Flesh Shade, highlighting where necessary, touch up the chitin, teeth, claws with Screaming Skull and sepia wash. Green is generic bright green with Kalia green shade. Seems that this can be super simplified using maybe 3 or 4 paints. Slap on some dry brush for small to medium guys. What are your thoughts? I have also added some stuff I've been working on for Space Wolves. Respectfully, Daniel. And so let's have a look at Daniel's work. And Daniel's work is really effing cool. There we go. Yeah, that's a better picture. This is really cool. I like this. He's got a system down and it works. And yeah, you totally can speed your process up with the contrasts. Definitely. Like just looking at this right here, this looks a bit like almost like that Leviathan blue. I have not tried that other blue-green color out to see how it looks in heavy saturation, but I suspect that might be the right color to use for this instance. I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. But off the hop, initially, this like the skin looks like Leviathan blue. It looks like that Cantor blue. So you could apply one heavy layer of that on this onto the flesh, and you pretty much could be done from that point if you were just banging out a bunch of these little, 100 gaunts or something like that. If you're okay with that. If that's okay with you. If you want to go to a higher standard, obviously you're going to do more, right? The carapace and stuff like that. Yeah, that looks a bit like either the Skeleton Horde or... what's that other freaking brown? Like, okay... If you're going to start right from the very beginning, prime them Wraithbone. Or white. Either one. Wraithbone I would probably go with maybe white. Just because it's a little cooler in the blues, whereas the browns stay nice and warm, so a white would give you both, best of both worlds kind of thing. But, yeah. The swords, whatever you're doing for those swords, you could probably maintain that. Because then if you're just concentrating on just doing those and the 90% of the model, the skin and the chitin are being done by contrast paints, yeah, you'll probably save yourself a whack ton of time. Even the interior pink parts, like the tongue and the joints and stuff like that, yeah, that looks almost like that pink, the Vulpus pink. Oh, look at this old school bugger. Look at that. That's cool. I demonstrated recently painting using contrast on larger surfaces. I think you'd be fine using it on this stuff because there's so much detail and texture and stuff, so I think you'd be okay. Oh, look at this guy. Yeah, same goes for him too. Just because I know like that there's that heavy texture on the limbs and stuff. It's not just smooth. Like the hive tyrant, the tail is really smooth, whereas this guy, I know his tail has texture and stuff, so yeah. Really, really cool though. Yeah, at a distance, this looks like bone and Leviathan blue, like Skeleton Horde and Leviathan blue. Those two colors look like that would achieve this pretty closely. Like the hair. Did you sculpt the hair? Did you sculpt that? Very cool. How come the hair is green? Like all the hair is green. Is it like for like a ghostly quality? Is that what it is? Kind of giving them a spectral kind of quality? Is that what's going on there? Because I noticed it's on the claws as well. Or did you just really like the effect of that hex gloom? Is that what you used, hex gloom? I suspect that's what you used. Did you just really like how that was? Because if you really liked how that was, then you're probably gonna fall in love with the contrast system then. If you're like, oh man, this Hex Gloom and this Night Haunt and all this stuff is just freaking fantastic. Yeah, you're gonna love the contrast system. Any pressing questions here? Old Man Logan, great work, Daniel. Yes, great work. Mr. Classicor, this time I found the loudest thing on my headphones in time. Obvious troll, why did they give you the smallest room? That's some BS. You deserve a way bigger office for what you give to the company. Obvious troll. Well, it's obvious troll, I guess. Why did I get the smallest office? I don't know. Honestly, it doesn't bother me any. I mean, I had the bigger office before, but my duties were different at the time. Duties. And yeah. I mean, sure, nice bigger office, sure. But if I had a bigger office, I mean, I'd probably be more inclined to have more crap in my office, right? So, it doesn't bother me. The only thing I kind of wish is that it was a little quieter and I didn't hear a lot of things. But thankfully, it's not like before when Steve's office and the rest of the boys were right beside me, and like as soon as they were just carrying on any kind of conversation, if I was doing voiceover and stuff like that, it was like you could hear it on the mic. Like if you listen to carefully to some videos, you'll hear talking in the background because they wouldn't shut up. Even when I came out and gave them dirty looks. But that's whatever. So now it's not quite as bad, and because they're all downstairs, you don't hear crap. I don't even know if like I wouldn't even know if anything, like there could be a huge riot going on downstairs. I wouldn't know because you can't hear it. You can't hear anything downstairs. So, yeah. Nathaniel, add obvious troll to keep him humbled. Oh, no. Me humbled? You kidding? Come on. My ego is too huge for that. My ego is beyond Office Space. I'm beyond petty things like big offices and stuff. I think really because that's what it is. Because it's kind of like dick measuring, right? Oh, he's got the big office. Oh, he's got the big dick. Right? Yeah. I'm not worried about that. I know mine's bigger than everybody else's. Let's do another email. This one is from Paul. Hi, Chris. I've sent you the Death Guard part of my army. Last time I sent Demons of Nurgle, and like last time, this scheme is meant to be. This is built up on wash and my own inks with details picked out on top CC. Welcome. Hope you like. Next, I'm doing the rest of my Death Guard, and just started to build Black Legion Force to slide with these guys, and I've started an Alpha Legion team. I am also working on more Guild Ball, and I'll send pics of those next. Also doing Gasland with my little boy and doing full Blackstone Forges, so we'll send pics of those. I will be finishing my 30k 30k word bearers off at some point. I think those were the first ever models. I sent you, so more to come, my friend, and I will be in touch soon. Say hi to all the monkeys and keep up the awesome work, everyone. P.S. I'll be doing some vids for my channel, so I'm going to involve the community, but we'll send details of that soon. Peace and love. Etorn, enjoy. Wow, Paul, there was not a single period in there or comma. Paul, did you write that on your phone or something? Wow, good thing I wasn't like, total Ron Burgundy on that one. Holy cripes. Okay, so let's have a look at the pictures here. You know what? This is a little bit closer here. Here we go. Well, it's a hair blurry, but I like the colors. I like the blending, it looks like. At least I think there's blending. Like the scythe blade. That looks really cool. I like Typhus. Typhus is a cool model. Very cool. More plaguey dudes. Looks like blood dripping down and stuff. Or is that like open sores and wounds and things like that? Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What's that?
I was just mocking you.
You're mocking me.
No,
Why are you mocking me?
me.
What?
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 My son's arguing with me right now. I don't know why. He just wants to be on the internet, I think. You want to be on the internet, my boy?
I'm on the internet.
Come on, my boy. You want to come sit on my knee and be on my show?
Nah.
he totally crushed my leg. He's bigger than me.
You grant me 3 wishes?
I'll grant you 3 wishes. Frickin' smart ass. Anyway. Yeah, I like the color schemes. You know, it feels still very work in progress, I think. So obviously, you know, keep going. I like the overall tones and everything. I kind of wish they were a little bit more in focus. Ooh, he's kind of cool. Again, I kind of wish it was a bit more in focus. Is the red I'm seeing supposed to be like blood dripping down, or is that like a design or something that's going on? Is it like, you know, war paint or something? I'm not too sure. If you're gonna do weeping blood, I would throw a gloss varnish on top of that just to give it the impression of like blood. They also sell blood for the blood god, which is really fantastic for doing blood effects like that. If that's something that you're looking to do. If that's not the intention of that, then never mind. Oh wait, is that the same dude? Am I looking at the same model there? At first I thought this was the back of a Dreadnought or Hellbrood or something. I didn't realize this dude. I don't think I've ever seen the back of this model, so... yeah, really fantastic work. I like the colors. The color scheme looks cool. I kind of wish that the pictures were a little bit more in focus. But that's okay. Paul, really good stuff. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Any other pressing comments here? Anything else? Sir Peanut Butter, punctuation, please. Yeah. Episode, yeah, Dark Commission episode 254. Humble is for wimps. Oh yeah. We haven't named the show, have we? We got to name the show. So everybody out there, start your brains. Snookhammer, Kris, is contrast good for fur? Yes. Because before contrast you would use like 3 colors for a good brown fur blend. Can you do it with 1 contrast and get the same effect? You get a similar effect, but will it be as controlled? Debatable. Not likely. Will it get you a good tabletop look quickly? Yes. So, yeah. Is it going to give you, you know, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think here, like a strong difference between the two. I mean, you can lay down the contrast on the fur area and then give it a quick, very light dry brush just to bring out the tips of the fur. Like, I'm thinking like those little wolves, you know, for space wolves. I'm thinking something like that, where you hit it with the contrast, it goes nice and dark in the recesses, gives you mid-tones, and then gives you, you know, brighter edges, and then you just very lightly dry brushed it to bring out the edges and tips of the hairs. Yeah, that would give you a pretty good look in just two turns on the model kind of thing, right? So, yeah, definitely. Nathaniel, there's a contrast for fur. Well, it's a brown. I mean, the fur could be blue. Doesn't mean that you can't use blue for fur, right? They have fur names, yes, but that's because they're browns. I mean, you know, but yeah. Vengeance Blade. The GW website is already out of stock for pre-orders on Contrast box set. Really? Well, hopefully everybody got the pre-orders in. Because if you didn't... Matthew Demi. Episode 254. Kris's office measuring contest. I'm going with it, Matthew. I'm going with it. I like it. I'm going with it. I'm running with it. Yeah. So like I said, man, like offices, I you know, I don't measure that way. And in fact, I would have been okay with the smallest office. If they threw me in, actually, you know what? I think I have the smallest office, actually. I think I might have, amongst everybody's office space, yeah, I might have the smallest. Yeah. Whatever. Doesn't bother me. Like I said, you know, if it was, which it's not, but if it was a dick measuring contest, yeah, it doesn't matter. I still win. I still won. But anyway, where am I here? Holy kermolies. Oh, yes, we got to do another email because we got to. So I'm going to have to hurry up and quit yammering on about dick measuring. This one is from Dark Commission. Hi, Mighty One. Here's the completed Sun Tzu model. It is 75mm scale and made by RP Miniatures. As always, I am super critical of my own painting, so I don't know what to make of it. Sometimes it looks great, and other times I think, well, any and all CNC is not only welcome, but needed and much appreciated. This is my first attempt at a diorama vignette, and I've not done too badly. It's just like a big base, really. I was unable to add the water effects I originally wanted, but that will need a bit of practice before attempting it in the future projects. I hope you and the monkey, ladies and gentlefolk, enjoy. Cheers, John, aka Dark Commission. And you know what also, I'm going to say this as well. We were talking earlier about, you know, being appreciative of opportunities and like things like that. And I am super appreciative of having the opportunity to go to England because, yes, I got to meet Dark Commission. I got to meet him. We actually cruised around a bit and, you know, talked and, you know, had a couple laughs. And we also went to the oldest pub in England, which I thought was really cool. Or UK. I don't know, England? I could be wrong. I don't know. But either way, I also got to meet Twitchy Kranos and Disco, which was fantastic. Anyway, I wish I could have met Maury. I know there was it Ghost Starman Deluxe? I know I missed the opportunity to say hi. I do apologize for that. I feel bad about it every day. Since that day, I do feel bad. Anyway. So here's Dark Commission's diorama. This is a 75mm model. So anybody who's not familiar with 75mm models, this guy is pretty big. He's probably about, 3 inches big. Like the rider himself, the horse is probably about similar. I like the detail. I like the white of his cloth. The horsey looks great. I like the overall feeling of the model. This is a great angle here. We're kind of full on with the eagle coming in, or the hawk. I think his cape, his leopard cape, if that's a leopard, I think that could have used a bit more depth in the shadows. I don't know. Maybe leopard print might not have been the way to go with that. I think that would be the only thing. I like his pants, his boots, the horse, the hair and everything. Like the cloth, like you're highlighting on the cloth and everything like that looks great. Like his shirt and everything like that. I think a bit more contrast is needed on the cape, and I don't know if I'd have went with leopard on that cape. I call it a cape. It's I don't know, what is it? Is it a cape? Cloak? I don't know. The hawk looks great. Lots of texture in those wings. And I thought you sent me a picture earlier of the horse, and the horse your brushstroke had provided texture on that, and I thought that was really nice. Like a really great way of, you know, because I'm sure that surface of that horse is pretty smooth. It doesn't actually have a texture, but as anybody who's been close to a horse knows, that's just really fine hair. Yeah, I don't know if that... Yeah, that cloak is still looking at me. But again, it also is that purple of the cloth and on the saddle as well. Maybe it's the purple. If you want like more of a navy blue, like a dark blue or something. Horse bum. Little sever head on the back. If I go quiet, it's because I'm absorbing the pictures here. The base looks great. It looks like, you know, the grasslands, right? What is it? The steppes of Asia kind of thing. I get that feeling. It feels like he's in a battle and he's letting the arrows fly. I like that angle too. I like that. Oh, I like the way the hawk's coming in. It's very dynamic. Very cool. I think it would have been fun to really add to the movement of this. I'm not suggesting you go back and do it, but in the future, if you're, you know, with these kind of projects, like where the horse is treading, have the ground kicked up where it looks like he stepped by. That kind of thing. Because if he's in a full gallop, that ground would be all chewed up where he was stepping. And as far as the whole piece altogether, I think it all works. Like it feels like, I think the edges, you can see where some of the static grass is kind of falling on the wood. I think I'd clean that up a bit. Like if this was something you were going to enter into a competition or something, I'd clean that up a bit. I'd put like a little plaque in there with the name of, you know, or, you know, saying what this is, or, you know, something famous quote, or, you know, something along those lines, right? I think if you were to enter this as a piece, I think you probably do very well. I like it. Yeah. I think that's about all I got. I think that's all I got. I think it's just, I don't know, the cloak or that purple of the saddle, the purple cloth on his saddle. I don't know. One of those two things. I can't quite put my finger on it. I think it'd be a little bit more contrast on that cloak, where the folds are and everything like that, or change the color of that cloth on the saddle. Because something about that purple hue is not meshing with my vision, as it were. I think more of a darker blue or something like that. I don't know, something, yeah. More thought and consideration would have to go into that. But really awesome piece. Thank you, John, for sending that in. And I know you've probably been working on that for quite a while. So really cool stuff. Any pressing comments at the moment? No. Dark Commission. Cape is more expressive in real life. Yes, definitely. I can see it, definitely. Ghost Terminal. Yeah, it was me, Chris. Really missed out. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Dark Commission. I did research, and the leopard print is authentic. Yeah, I don't know if it was that. Like, it's just, you know, like if the overall tone of it was like, I'm just, or maybe it was the purple, or, you know, like in conjunction with everything else. I'm not sure if I was feeling it all. It was one of those two things that was playing with me, because all the natural tones. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe if it was less saturated purple, right? So it still could have been purple, but less saturated. so it felt kind of worn, right? And maybe that's another direction maybe you want to start looking at when doing some of these historical pieces. Maybe playing with the desaturated palettes, and go a bit more for naturalistic kind of tones, right? Because in the real world, not a lot of things are very saturated like that, and especially when they're aged, right? They're sun bleached, they become very desaturated. Maybe that's somewhere you might want to head in the near future, right? Is playing with those kind of tones instead of going with straight tones like that. But we start playing with desaturating tones and going about in that fashion. Dark Commission. I would have preferred the model without a cape. Yeah, I think the cape adds a lot of movement. And I think that's kind of like what was kind of bugging me about it, is like you have this kind of element that was, because the horse is moving like this and his cape is like that, and the whole composition is kind of moving like that, like almost like an S, right? It's kind of flowing like that when you're looking at it in most perspectives. And I'm fine with that. Like that's how the eye moves around it, and the spots just, you know what I mean? It takes your eye, like as soon as you're looking at something, then your eye is off in leopard land kind of thing, right? And so I don't know if leopard print would have been too great there. Of course, it would have just, what else would you have done? A straight up color. I don't know. Yeah, again, I mean, it's choices made. It's a tough one, I realize. But I mean, the painting itself was excellent. I mean, like I said, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't anything about your style or technique. It's nothing like that. It's just the choices. Yeah. It's just the color. Yeah, like the purple. I mean, like the color was so the purple of that was so saturated. I think like it just pushed it back a bit. It was too, because I mean, like you had that really strong, bold folds and such on his cloth of his shirt, and his skin tones are so bold that your eye immediately is going there, and the composition of the model immediately wants your eye to move along that space, right? But then all of a sudden they have that hit that purple in it. It's just like, it's kind of like hitting the brakes when you're looking at going from this cloak down through his details and stuff like that, and then you're going through the horse, and all of a sudden, bang, your eye stops at that purple, and you're like, what the hell am I looking at that with that purple, right? It could be any color. It's just something that just all of a sudden stops you, right? And you're like, oh, what's going on there? And yeah. I think maybe that's what it is. Maybe like because the spots, the leopard spots, maybe if they were more subdued, and they weren't so bold, right? Again, yeah, maybe that's the direction with some of these realistic type pieces. Is maybe start looking at desaturating color and playing it within more muted palettes. Might be a new challenge. I know you're always looking for a challenge, and so maybe it's a new challenge to play within that kind of color range, a bit more muted tones. Let's do another email. This one is from, what time we got here? Holy camolies, way over schedule here. I got stuff to do here. Holy moly. Old Man Logan, this is our good buddy Old Man Logan sending this in. Hi, Chris and Monkeys. Here are some pics of Lady Olander, which I just finished for a commission. I really liked the model, though she was a bit tricky to work on. I hope you enjoy the pics and let me know what you think. Your pal, Old Man Logan. And so let's have a peeky at his mini. There we go. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. Optimized. I really like it. I like the nice richness of blue towards the ends of the cloth. I like we got the subtle shading on the folds. The banshees, I like the wisp through the hair. The bold color on the trinkets that they're holding. I like the roses running through. I like the overall color. Nice dark base, just to really bring out the brightness of all the little spirits and stuff. That's what we're going to say now, spirits. Not spirits, spear rats. Yeah. Now I'm wondering, is it the way your picture was taken? Because it almost looks like there's a glow in through the center. It's like the white is glowing. Did you do that on the camera, or is there like a smudge on your lens or something? It's giving that kind of beauty, kind of likeness to it. Did you do this? No, I really like this. Oh yeah, I like the change in tone of the other cloth that runs between. Kind of like her, what is it, her veil or something? Yeah, that's really cool. I like your choice that you went with a more subtle shadow for those points like on her face and stuff. I'm sure the person you commissioned this from or for really enjoyed this. If you've given them to them already, and hopefully you were paid promptly and adequately, because that's a good paint job. That's good. I like the transitions going through there. Um, I like the overall color. I like your execution of the grays within the white. That can be always a big challenge for doing a lot of stuff. The banshees, everything like that look good. It's a solid paint job, dude. Solid paint job, and I'm sure whoever you did that for probably really enjoyed it. It was nice and clean. Yeah. Nothing about that jumps out at me like, oh, you should have did this or oh, you should have did that. I mean, there's other things you probably could have done, like for example, the golds like on the hourglass and the chest. You could have made those look like aged gold and had, or bronze or whatever, and had like aging on them and stuff like that, make them look old, like they were trinkets. Like her staff could look kind of older, and her headpiece, right? Sure, those are the directions you could go, right? But no biggie. I mean, your execution of what you did, because I'm going to assume it is what the customer wanted, and it is always about what the customer wants, right? So, very, very cool. Thank you for sharing, old man Logan. Awesome stuff. We got one more email. This is from Nathaniel. He sent it during the show. Oh, he sent it 2 minutes before the show. So he got in under the deadline. Because if it was after 12, Nathaniel, I wouldn't have read it. I would have counted it for next show. This is just a fair warning to everybody that if it doesn't come in before I start the show, I ain't reading it on the show. Mainly because if you sent me something awful, I wouldn't do it. Anyway, hi Chris and fellow monkeys. I just returned from the local GW store after trying out the new contrast paints. In my opinion, they need further testing and experimenting. I find some of the colors promising. Others need a bit more refining. Example, Ethermatic Blue was so thin it barely covered. Or Dark Angel's Green was very dark, was very heavy and dark. It was too much. In the attached image, you can see my test mini, of which I tried a couple of techniques. Overall, I think with passing time, they will be useful tool in the hobby. Salutations, Nathaniel. And so here is his, there we go. Here is him playing with the contrast. And, okay, so, is this straight contrast? Is this just straight up the contrast? Or did you do any dry brushing or playing around, anything like that? Was this on top of the Wraithbone and Grey Seer, or was this on top of white, or what have you, right? Those are the details I kind of would like to know. Nathaniel, me likey. You likey? Or are you answering to somebody else? Oh, you're answering to somebody else's. Old man, yeah. Oh, old man, used a photo app and just picked the best pics that came up with. Oh, okay. Awesome. Okay. I hear you. Anyway. Okay. The green looks cool. The red looks good. These are pretty consistent with what I've been seeing. The black on the bolter on the right. The blue looks like Talisar blue on that bolt gun for the red guy. It looks like he tried out the purple on the one shoulder pad. Looks like a Leviathan blue on the other shoulder pad. Looks like he tried out the brown on the base. And what is that color on the other base of the guy on the right? What is that guy's color? What is that? Let's see here. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Left one. The guy on the left reminds me of Spider-Man. Spider-Man? Are you high? Nathaniel. Left one is Grey Seer. Right one is Wraithbone. Okay. And what is... Maze says, Ghost, you're right. What is the that color on the base? Because that doesn't look like a color I've used now. And I would know we were talking earlier about Imperial Guard. And that looks like the color I would use for the typical khaki color for the cloth on the Imperial Guard troopers. But this looks pretty consistent to me with the contrast. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, you mentioned the Ethermatic blue was very, very light. That's what I did when I demonstrated, especially on like my Instagram and stuff. The vampire model that I can't remember what the hell that ghoul is called, but that's the model that you see in the Games Workshop video that I'm painting. I did that day of, and that's that Ethermatic blue, and I like it. I like that blue. That's probably one of my favorite colors in this color range. It's just a really nice shade of blue. It's not particularly strong, but it's supposed to be a very bright color. In fact, I'm probably going to use that color of blue, probably thin it down a bit, and I'm going to use that as the skin for my Deepkin. But this is Nathaniel's testing of the contrast, and you just did that today? Is that what you did? I would assume, because they're only supposed to be doing demos today. I don't think anybody's supposed to be technically selling this product right now. So, but yeah. So what else did you think about it, Nathaniel? Let's get your reaction here. Where am I here? Holy crap. I gotta change cameras. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let me go back to the comments here. Yeah, so what else did you think? Quickly write, just, in a few words. You don't have to give me a paragraph, because holy crap. Nathaniel, all contrast paints. I did the red one with simple layering techniques. The right one is the Dark Angels green. You don't like that Dark Angels green? That looks like Dark Angels to me. Maybe because it's the flash. Maybe in person it's a little bit darker than you think. Sure, okay. I have not played with it myself, so I can't say. I'll take your word for it for the moment. What else did you say? The right one is the Dark Angels green. Dry brush Wraithbone, dry brush Warp Lightning. Okay, so there was a dry brushing on these. Okay. Okay. Very cool. Very interesting. Good to know. Oh, I see. So the Dark Angels green. Okay, so you threw a Warp Lightning. Warp Lightning? Or Warp Stone Glow. I can't remember. Where the hell am I here? Warp Lightning. Yeah, okay. Or is Warp Lightning the new cut name for the green? I don't know. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. All I'm saying is J. Jonah Jameson is definitely going to criticize him in the newspaper. Dark Commission Spider-Man, you're no match for me, said a rolled up paper man. Ha. Nathaniel, red one, Blood Angels red, eyes are Wraithbone and Warp Lightning. Bolt rifle is Ethermatic blue. That looks like the Ethermatic blue. That looks like the Talisar blue. Okay. The Ethermatic blue is kind of like a really light blue, whereas the Talisar blue it's cyan. It's a deep cyan color. Anyway, Bolt rifle is Ethermatic blue under Talisar blue. Yeah. The Ethermatic blue sitting on top of Talisar blue will only give you a darker blue, and you'll lose Ethermatic blue. Yeah, you'll lose Ethermatic blue. Left shoulder is Shyless purple, and right is Talisaran. Okay. Nathaniel, yes, testing. Yeah. Maze, Kris, yeah, Dark Angels is really dark in reality. I've seen it today. Yeah, okay. I haven't played with the Dark Angels green. Again, I haven't just played from everything, right? So, anyway. Nathaniel, the base are Wildwood on the left and some desert color on the green. Okay. So, I can't remember what the name is. Yeah, I haven't tried it either. But I know we had a question earlier about doing Imperial Guard, like speeding up Imperial Guard. And that's the color I would do the uniform with. Maybe not Dark Angels green, maybe another green for the armor. Oh yeah, there's more of a camo green, isn't there? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like a camo green. And that would be perfect for just hitting that green armor, doing Gilliman flesh for the face areas, and just keep moving on, and just get her done. Get her done. Holy crumoles. All right, we got to get going here. Pete Taylor, I tested the paints today at GW. Warp Lightning is good. So is the pink. Yep, I agree. All the colors, I think, I have their use. I mean, you know, people who aren't used to painting, they're going to find a lot of use out of these paints. People who have already been painting for a while may find use for them. You know, like I said, like people who have been using color, transparent paints, there's no surprises here other than the viscosity. But if you've been doing stuff like what I've been doing, where I've been using Liquitex Flow Aid to increase the surface tension and stuff like that, then again, you know, it's old bag, old hat, whatever that expression is. You know what I mean. Nathaniel, no, it's Talisar is over the Aethermatic. Yeah, I don't know if you really needed to put the Talisar over the Aethermatic, because the Aethermatic was really light. Unless, of course, you just wanted to build a brighter blue. But that Talisar blue is like, it's cyan. It's bright blue, whereas the Aethermatic blue is quite light, and it's, you know, if you thin that out, it would give you a very soft pastel blue color, right? So, which is what I'm thinking for my Deepkin. I think I'm going to use that for my Deepkin. Nathaniel, I got memed. You got memed? Okay. Old Man Logan, thanks all. As for the Dark Angels green contrast, I bet just mix it with a bit of contrast medium would do the trick. Yeah. Thin it down just a bit. Yeah. I think that's probably, like I said earlier in the show, I think that contrast medium, the contrast or technical contrast medium, I think that is the hidden gem within this paint system. I think so. I could be wrong. I'm open to the possibility that I am wrong. But I could be right. I was quite impressed with it. I did a demo with it yesterday, and yeah, I used it with regular Citadel colors, and it kind of does what the contrast does. And so, yeah, it was kind of, you know, pretty cool. So, anywho, if you are brand new to this hobby, you need some help with a color scheme, you want to show off what you're working on, maybe your commission painting service, and you want to drum up some extra exposure or whatever, send your questions to Kris@miniwargaming.com. It's in the description below, as well as a link to waveofthebrush.com. That is the central hub of all the silliness. It has links to the Instagrams, as well as Discord, social medias, you know, all that stuff. So join us there and follow me on all the other crap. Whatever it is, it's crap. Really way to sell it up, right? Or upsell that. So waveofthebrush.com, join me. And of course, you want to get yourself a t-shirt, help support the cause, look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. And I got something stuck to my shirt. What is that? I don't know what that is. Has that been there the whole time? Anyway, you want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy, they're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And of course, if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt, and I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which I'll probably add to the intro at some point in the future. So, again, thank you very much. Of course, also in the link below, waveofthebrush.com, is a link for Patreon support. If you're considering supporting monetarily, a big thank you. I only ever charge per episode of Way of the Brush. I only do Way of the Brush every Saturday, so I think you kind of know what you're getting yourself into if you're considering supporting by monetarily. And a huge thank you to my current patrons who currently support me. Without you, a lot of the stuff wouldn't be possible. A lot of the upgrades and site maintenance and, you know, all these things just wouldn't be possible without your support. I wouldn't bother doing it, but because you guys want it, I'm more than happy to provide it. So here we are. Again, this show is all about you guys, right? So, you know, I wouldn't do the show if you guys didn't ask me questions and want, you know, help. And, you know, and of course, I feel free to always ask a question because, you know, I don't believe in stupid questions. And I know people are at varying skill levels within this hobby. I fully welcome everybody who's brand new, and I fully welcome people who are more advanced, and everybody in between. There's a bazillion shades of gray in the middle. So I know, you know, there's varying levels to this hobby, and it can be hard to absorb the information sometimes. You don't know where to go because it's all just a mess, right? So if you need help, feel free to ask. And of course, if you're not able to support monetarily, you can always support by thumbing up, commenting, subscribing, ringing the bell, following, and sharing the video. You know, when you see somebody you're maybe on a forum and you say, hey, don't know how to do this, and we talked about it, or I made a video about it, or what have you, and even supporting like Mini Wargaming and sharing the videos from there and stuff like that. That helps as well. Because I'm paid by Mini Wargaming. I work for Mini Wargaming, and it keeps us employed and keeps us doing what everybody loves. So doesn't hurt it either, right? And a big thank you to Guymere Alfer, aka Carl, aka Beer and Blood Bowl. That's his YouTube channel. Check him out if you love yourself some beer and you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always say thank you to Carl because he took the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that plays before the email segments that put a smile on our face and make us happy and or blow out our eardrums. But that's my fault. That's not his fault. But we'll blame him anyway. I'll blame Carl anyway. Screw it. He doesn't care. Did we learn anything today? I think we're starting to feel the hype train slowing down. I think so. I don't know. Maybe the hype train just getting started now. Now that the pre-order is today of the taping of the show, which is what is the day? What is today? The 8th? June? I don't even know what day it is. 7th? Oh, excuse me. I'm not even sure what day it is. It's the weekend, right? Anyway. I'm getting weird now because, holy crap. Way past the hour. I've got stuff I gotta get done here. So, take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you, and I will see you guys next week. Next week? Yeah, I think next week. Pretty sure next week. Maybe. I don't know. Good grief, I'm trying to pick some paints here. They got like a nice little battle-ready paint system. You get 4 base, 2 shades, 3 contrast, and 1 technical. It sounds fun. But there's a terms and conditions? Like, what? There's a terms and conditions? This is craziness. You can't put terms and conditions on me buying paint. Can you? Is this possible? Am I bitching about nothing? I'm sure I am. Anyway. Look at all these things. What the F? Oh my god. So apparently they're already sold out, so good luck buying any, folks. I hope you bought some. Holy man, to buy all the paints, $731.20 for the whole shebang. Wow. The air paint collection is $733 as well. Okay, well it can't be all the paints then. Oh, it's got to be maybe just all the regular paints and then all the air paints. The layer paint is all $510 plus 20 cents. Jeez, get the contrast paint collection. $319.60 for the good gravy. I'm almost choking on my own. I don't know. My own something. Holy caramoles. So, hopefully, y'all got in on that pre-order. I don't know. Can I, let's say if I wanted to buy all the contrast. Let's buy all the contrast. $320, essentially. No, you can't buy the whole collection. Temporarily out of stock. Uh-oh. What if I wanted Wraithbone spray? Wraithbone spray. Oh, yeah. Wraithbone spray says I can get a can of that. All right. Yeah, I can get black. Can I get white? I can get white. Can I get gray sear? I can get gray sear. Varnish? Yeah, I can get varnish. I can get these things. All right, I'm done. We're just goofing off at this point now. It's a wonderful Saturday. Guys, go enjoy yourselves. Maybe go paint something. If you can try out that contrast paint, go try it out. Don't be immediately dismissive of it. It's just paint. It's not, I don't know. I think a lot of people have the wrong impression of what this paint is, but, am I to blame? Maybe I'm to blame. Maybe I've hyped it up too much. I don't care. I'm getting the hell out of here. Screw it. Let's go.